Hacksaw's in the building. Hacksaw, let me get you straight up on the board, man. Thank you for, you're on it. Thank you for tapping in. Twiz, welcome in. Romario, welcome in. Sassy Angel, thanks for tapping in. Welcome in, y'all. Let me get a couple things updated. I got you with the extra 5 as well, so you're up there strong. Jay's in the building. Sud's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. How are y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling today? If y'all are coming in for the first time, y'all are hopping in over on TikTok, thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. If y'all are coming in for the first time as well, let me know where you're joining from, and let me know if you make music, what kind of music you make. Talk to me a little bit about what you do. Matt Fontenot, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic today, and we'll get rolling with some music here in just a little bit. We'll move fairly quickly today, but I got you up on the board, ready to go. Era's in the building. Thank you for tapping in. Nathan is in the chat. What's up, Nathan? Good to see you, man. Avery, what's up, Avery? Welcome in, y'all. Thanks for tapping in today, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Right hand is in the building. What's up, right hand? Thanks for tapping in today. Let me get a few things rolling here. Brian is in the chat. What's up, Brian? Welcome in, welcome in. Let me go ahead and clear a couple things here as we're getting rolling. Billy's in the building. Fire Sam, Jay, I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in, y'all. Keep tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. We'll get rolling here in just a second. MZO is in the building. WT Fishin, I think is the name. Hope I'm getting that right. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate that. Welcome into the stream. Jenna is in the building. Kojo, welcome in. I appreciate you joining. Y'all tap the screen, share out the live with a few people, and we're going to get rolling here in just a moment. Hacksaw Heathen, I got you open the board. You're ready to go. MD Scott Jag, welcome in. I appreciate y'all joining. Griffo, welcome in. Kyle's in the building. I'm an underground Christian hip-hop artist, and I have recorded by myself for the last 5 years. Let's go, Hacksaw. I love it, man. I'm excited to hear what you got. We're about to... Blade Money's in the building. We're about to get into your track here in just a couple minutes. Just got the power back on. What happened? What happened? Was there a storm? What's going on? What's going on that the power is out? Yeah, we'll get the algorithm rolling. We'll get some things flowing here on the different platforms, and then we'll dive into the music here in just a couple minutes. Armstrong is in the building. Audrey, appreciate you tapping in. If y'all are coming in for the first time, Compatai, so good to see you, brother. If y'all are coming in for the first time, make sure y'all let me know where you're joining from. Would love to know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. We'll chat here for just a few minutes, and then we'll kick into the consultations here in just a moment as soon as we get everything flowing and get some things updated here. But yeah. Talk to me a little about what y'all are doing. Greg is in the building. Big fan of TV soundtrack here. So unfortunate so many shows never get a Spotify or CD release. That's true. I do type beats. Let's go 029 beats. Good to see you in here. Appreciate it. I have a show next week. It would be if you could play House of Hosts, please. Yeah, if y'all want to submit music, you can. I'll explain it in a second. Everything is at my profile. This isn't just like a spin. It's not like a radio play request in the chat. These are very structured, detailed, long-form consultations. So if that is interesting to y'all, then you definitely can submit. I'll explain that here in just 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes. I'll explain kind of the whole structure here, but it's not just like a quick spin. I just request right in the chat. These are very detailed. They're long form. Dan the man, the band with the super fan. Thank you for joining, man. It's good to see you. Thank you for the Go Populars, man. I always appreciate your generosity so much. Thank you for joining. Luke is in the building. I want to get into writing indie rock music. I'm forming a band with a school friend soon. I love to hear that. Bring back like underground bands. They're back already. I mean, that's obviously it's obviously happening. You know, quite a bit now. But man, I love when people tell me they're like just one of the artists that I consult with a lot of times on here. Just a couple of them actually just started like garage bands. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. I love it. Like I kind of wish I had a little bit more of that growing up. Like I wish I would have like formed something earlier. And that can also be chaotic, but I just think it would be so fun. It would be so fun to be in a band. It would be so fun. What I think would be sick is to have like I love like 80s. I love synthwave. I love keys. That's a lot of what I do. And so I think it would be so cool to have like a really dope like synthwave band. I think that would be sick. Sorry, TikTok keeps chopping my thing here. Hold on. I lost power at 1:12 p.m. A tree branch fell on a wire. Okay, man. Oh, that stinks. That stinks, Jenna. That's unfortunate. The song I submitted is a rough summary about my life. Okay, Hacksaw, drop it in the email or on the other platforms because TikTok just rolls so fast and you're so limited. You're so limited on what you can send. Thank you for the heart music. I'll appreciate that so much. Grant, welcome in. Crown, welcome in. Sorry, I'm doing it. Whatever, okay, Public Artist. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. This is fun to say. It's fun to say. Just a dude learning guitar at 26. Darren, I love that. There's no better time to start than right now. No better time to start than right now. I'm a drummer. My friend wants to be the lead guitarist because she loves George Harrison. Dude, I love it. That's amazing, Luke. Shout out to y'all. That's very, very cool. Darren, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Jack said, I wasted so much money on gear collecting dust. I think it's time to put it to work then, Jack. I think it's time to put it to, if it's collecting dust, it's time to blow it off and get to work. It's time to get to work, man. Don't let it collect dust. Luke, thank you for the follow. Can you play Just What I Needed You Most by Ready Warmer? We're not doing requests right here. We're not doing requests right here in the live, but I will get into the submission form here in just a second. Timeline's in the middle. What's up, Time? Legend has it Torvik is actually a neurosurgeon. Man, I wish I don't wish I was a neurosurgeon. I wish I had some of the benefits of being a neurosurgeon. It seems like the most likely explanation of, yeah, maybe in another life. I don't know if I can handle it. I'm not like squeamish. Like I wouldn't consider myself a squeamish person. But at the same time, I don't know if I could handle open up skulls. That's a little crazy. Oh yeah, I do need to adjust that. I don't know. TikTok's annoying sometimes with TikTok's annoying with the way it cuts off certain messages. I'm not sure why it does that because it gives you a character count and then it just doesn't let you fulfill it. Okay, give me a second, y'all. Let me update and refresh just one thing here, and then we're gonna get the music rolling in here. We're gonna take probably about 5 or 6 songs today. So if you want to submit, I'll explain the whole process here in just one moment. Yeah, let's talk about music. Let's go. that's part of what this platform is about, and I'll explain it here in just a second. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm just requesting a couple things over here in the email, and then I'm updating a few things. So give me just how much taffy would I have to give you for a mix? I mean, a couple hundred pieces. I don't know. What's the inflation index on taffy these days? How much is a piece of taffy? Couple, maybe 2,000 taffies. I don't know. Can you still get them for like 25 cents? Random pianist, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. 3,000. Yeah, I think about 3,000 taffies. I would assume about 3,000. 3,000 taffy seems about right to mine. So if you send me a pallet of like saltwater taffies, then I think we'll be clean. I think we'll be ready to go. Nado, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Okay, let me explain the live stream for those of y'all that are coming in for the first time. Here goes my spiel that I give at the start of every single live stream. If y'all are coming in for the first time, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you being here. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate y'all spending any amount of time coming in. Thank you for the follow, coming into this live stream and hanging out for a bit, whether you send in music or not, even if you're just chilling in the background. I appreciate y'all spending some time here. For those of you who don't know what we do here at Track Talk, these are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultations on the structure of on the structure of your music. We are going to dive deep into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric, and song structure. We're going to get really nuanced and analytical about the way you are approaching what you do, both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. This is for artists, producers, session musicians, engineers, vocalists, songwriters, and people that represent those people. Any style, any genre, any level of quality or preparedness. There is no bias as far as genre and other stuff. Dan, thank you for the sunglasses. Appreciate you, brother. There's no bias as far as what we listen to and the way that we approach it. This is not a review. There is no quick trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. There's no quick spin. They are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, long form consultations and breakdowns of the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So that is the approach of this live stream. That is kind of the structure of this live stream. I am not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to give you exposure. If that happens, if the algorithm takes off and you get fans of your music, beautiful. It's just not my priority. It's not the way that I have structured the stream. If you would like to submit your music for these consultations, the way that we structure things here, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all of the details there. You'll see it bunch of stuff. Please don't skip through all of it, because then you will be confused as to why things are working the way that they are, because it's not a typical structure to the live stream. So go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the line, ready to go. We are on 3 different platforms live streaming right now. If you would like to see the line, and I would encourage you to, if you would like to see the line, the order, the minimums at that time of the live stream, stuff like that, which a lot of people are always asking, what's the line, what's the queue like, stuff like that. The line is always up on the screen on the other platforms that we're live on, which is, you can kind of use your imagination, the red app and the purple app. TikTok's just a little strict sometimes with what they say. If you would like to, go check the line. Just go to those other platforms. You can find them at my link. But once again, if you're on TikTok, kind of over here where a lot of y'all are in the chat, just go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details there. Could I ever hire you for coaching or reviews? I don't have any production, just a piano. I mean, yeah. So that's what these consultations are kind of, but I also do those offline as well, just, separate from this, like longer form. These are about 20 minutes to 30 minutes a piece on this particular live stream, the consultations we do here. But if you want me to break down your song, coach you through some things, talk you through some tracking processes, help you improve your sound design approaches, the way that you're writing, whatever it may be, right? It could be any number of different elements of your music. If you want help with stuff like that, I do offline consultations as well, just through like Zoom or Discord or something like that, where we can hop on for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I've done a lot of collaborative writing that way. I'm working with some artists out of Nashville over the last couple months, helping them with some of their, songwriting leading into some of their album releases and things like that. So if you ever want like more in depth and just, being able to actually talk back and forth, there's a whole, we can do that offline as well. It just books by the hour. Just shoot me a message if you're ever interested in that. I wake up and make songs every day, multiple if I have time. Random pianist, that's amazing. I love that you have the creative freedom and the capacity to do that. That's amazing. All right, let's get into some music. We're going to kick it off with Hacksaw. Hacksaw, I should have your email from the other day, so you should be good to go. Should be good to go. But if y'all are over on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heartmeat, just like Random Pianist just did. Thank you so much. Don't forget to send your heartmeat. It really does help out the live stream quite a bit. And once again, if you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow all the details. We'll get you up on the line. We're going to kick it off with Hacksaw Heathen. So let me just pull up the email really quick, and then we'll dive into the details. Destra Bill, welcome in. Let me see. Let me just pull up the email. Here we go. Got you. Okay. So this is a release track actually. Baby, if you want to submit, and this because it's the name, not term of endearment, but if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details right there. What music, dude? I don't do music. This is for your music. So if you are a producer, you're an artist, you're a session musician, you are a beat maker, you're an engineer, you're a vocalist, you're a songwriter, or you represent those people or are close to those people, that's what this live stream is all about. These are detailed consultations. They're nuanced, they're long. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. They're really, really nuanced. So if that's something that would be helpful, would be interesting, would be, something that you think would be valuable for you, that's what this is all about. Why do people make these lives of them singing? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like I don't want to give like an oversimplistic answer, but probably because they enjoy singing and it's a way for them to garner support for what they do creatively. I mean, that'd be like the simplest answer, I would think. Like, why do people do lives doing anything? Why do people post anything? I would assume that it would be so that people support what they do and they can gain some exposure for the thing that they love to do. My sister's singing when she was 8 at a family reunion. Hey, close enough, Daniel. Close enough. What's up, Destra? So good to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic. Good to see you in here. It's been a minute. Good to see you. All right, let's get into it. This is Hacksaw Heathen. The song is called At the Sky. It looks like it's released. This song is currently my top song on Spotify, but would love advice to be a better artist. Let's dive in. Let me open it up here really quick. Let me open it up right here in the email. Beautiful. I'm going to close this up over here, actually. Spotify. Let me see. At the Sky. Here we go. Sorry, it's giving me some issues playing it on a different device. I don't know why it always does this. Give me just 1 second. What's going on here? Let me try upload it. Let me try opening it again. For some reason, it's not coming through. No, yeah, I have it on Spotify, but for some reason, it's oh, there we go. It said Spotify couldn't play it right now. Okay, Hacksaw. It's out on all platforms. Okay, got you. Give me some details. You might have dropped some other stuff in the chat, but it's sometimes hard to focus when it's not the song that's in front of me. So drop some details. Give me some context. Give me some nuance as far as the structure of what you're doing. As far as the role that you play in your production and your mixing, whatever it may be. Are you doing all of this yourself? Are you utilizing producers, type beats off MP3, or, just YouTube strips and stuff like that, BeatStars, whatever it may be. Talk me through some of your structure and what you do, and let's get into it, man. I'm excited to dive in. This is At the Sky by Hacksaw Heathen. Pierce, thank you for the confetti. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the follow as well. Okay, where'd you get the production? It's time. Dobbs, thank you for the follow.
Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light. Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies.
And let me know what you're recording on as well. Thank you for the follow, Pierce. I appreciate it. YouTube got you.
Make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light.
Oh, we just started, Chef. We just started.
So much fear to endure, but I had to keep fighting. Everything my mother taught me, I knew that she wasn't lying. Everything I went through made me a king lion. Show the strength, show the passion, knowing there's a new diamond. Can't believe that this would happen.
Appreciate you.
Without the caption, everybody get to stop and hope that you learn the lesson. Life's gotta teach you something when you're stuck at the bottom. Pick yourself back up from the muddy ground. Know it's kinda crazy, but this is going down.
Okay, cool.
Around, I guess you just found out. Made a mistake, and what you're gonna learn now. Pick yourself back up from the muddy ground.
It happens. It happens. I've had people submit the same beat in the same live. It was kind of funny.
Made a mistake, and what you gonna learn now. Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light.
Yeah, if y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. Line is up on the other platforms. Good consistent hook as far as structure goes.
But God told me that I'ma read salvation. You will find the truth when you read Revelation. Break time is over, it is time to focus on the mission. Open up your eyes and ears and hope you will listen. Cause the devil is the greatest at causing all division and manipulate your heart to make the wrong decision. Repent right now, be forgiven of your sin, and now pick yourself back up from the muddy ground. Know it's kinda crazy, but this is going down.
You can use, it doesn't have to be the apps. Go to that same section, you can use whatever you want. Like debit, credit, like it doesn't matter. You can use anything.
Made a mistake, and what you gonna learn now. Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light. Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light.
Okay, cool. Cool. Let's go. Y'all show some love. That is Hacksaw Heathen, who's right here in the chat. So show him some love and support. If y'all want to submit your music, I see people asking me in the chat. If you would like to submit for again, these are 20 to 30 minute detailed consultations. They're long, they're nuanced. If you would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow the steps there. You don't submit here in the chat. There's a process, there's a structure to everything. So profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. And then Sheffer, you can send gifts. The only problem with the gifts is that unfortunately on TikTok side, they take about 60% of the gift. So if you are going to submit a gift, you can. People have before. I've had people submit huge contributions just through gifts. You can, but it has to be quite a bit more. Has to be quite a bit more than the submission amount in order for it to equal what I need on this side. So you can, that is completely up to you if you want to do that. But unfortunately, TikTok takes like 60%, sometimes more, I think, depending on some different conversions and factors. So that's the only reason why I don't typically recommend people do, because you're just going to double what you would spend in order to just get the same submission. Like you're going to spend $20 or $25 to get a $10 submission or something like that, right? And that's, I don't love that, but that's TikTok. That's the rules. Got you, Bennett. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. All right, but let's run this from the top. Let me update the line here really quick. I appreciate you, man. Line is updated. Beautiful, y'all. We got about 4 or 5 songs left after this one, so it's going to be short and sweet. I don't remember the exact video. I'm sorry. The YouTube video that you got the beat for. Okay, I got you. That's what you're talking about. Sorry, I was like, wait, the one that you pulled the beat from. Beautiful. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details here. There's some things you can do that are very practical as far as improving a structure like this. Now, obviously, this song is released. So for one, if you like what you hear, go stream it, go support it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify, all that fun stuff. If you like what you hear, definitely go support. That aside, I'm going to speak as though we're speaking to a future song. Obviously, I'm going to talk about points in this that are still things that I want you to focus on when you're working on your future records, just because obviously this is already out. It's past distribution. It's out on all platforms. So, and it's also like 2 years old. So I'm keeping that in mind as well, that this song has done fairly well for you, but it is also a couple years old. So I'm keeping in mind there's some practical improvements you've probably already done. Sheffer, I believe I got you. Let me get you updated right here. Is it CB? Is that you? Is that CB, Sheffer? I'm assuming that's you. I just got a half. I got a half submission. So be sure that you read all the details. Be sure that you read all the details, because I think unless I'm missing another one in there, I think I just got half. So just double check when you go to the profile and click on the link. Do make sure that you read through the details, check the line and stuff like that. That way I can make sure I get everything in order and I get you on the board where you're supposed to be. All right, let's run it from the top, man. Let's get into some of these details here. You just sent half. You sent half. So that's why I want to make sure that you actually read through the details. That way it's super clear. And I can get you in the right order in the line. I can make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. All right, let's run it. Blue Skittles, welcome in as well. Let's run it from the top. This is At the Sky by Hacksaw Heathen. Let's dive in. What mic? You said you're recording on Pro Tools. What kind of mic are you using when you're recording as well? First instinct is we'll talk about the intro. First instinct, I'll give my spiel on streaming and like DSP thresholds and stuff like that. It's time. Jackson, welcome in. Ryan, welcome in. It's the whole intro here. Chris, welcome in. Okay, so we're 38 seconds. 38 seconds in. Okay, so Shepard, did you go? Did you read through the steps at the link? So when you go to my profile and you click on the link, so Leo, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome to the stream. Did you read from the top right there? That's what I want to make sure, because I list out a bunch of details so that everybody knows the format, and everybody knows. Double check it, because you sent in 5, so I have a half submission from you. So that's why I want to make sure. That's why I want to make sure that you read through everything, so no one's surprised by anything. That's why those details are there. So just make sure that you send in a full submission, or I can save it for a different live if you don't have the capacity. But yeah, I just want to make sure, because I have double check a few things here. Philip, I got you. We got Philip Dietrich in the building. I got you, man. Yeah, it's up to you how you figure that out. I just want to make sure that we get a full submission on the board, so I can actually get you an order, because now other people are coming in and they're submitting. I want to make sure that you get what you need. I want to make sure you get in the right spot there, especially wherever you're wanting to go. Sander, welcome in as well. Holy cow, welcome in. All right, let's run it from the top. So really quick, we are 30. Let me see. Scarlett Studio microphone with a focus. Okay, so you got the Scarlett package, right? The Focusrite package, I'm assuming, where it's the the Scarlett microphone, the headphones, and the interface, like the solo interface, right? Okay, got you. That we can talk a little bit about that coming up here in just a second. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is the streaming threshold for DSPs. I mentioned this at least once a live, so this will be our time that we mention it for this live. When it comes to most of the major DSPs and streaming platforms, okay, for most of the major streaming platforms, there is a threshold for what they count as a stream and for what they pay out financially. Once a stream has been counted and registered in the system, okay, there's a threshold that you have to reach. Generally speaking, that threshold is for most of the major DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon, stuff like that. It's about 30 seconds, or it is 30 seconds. Keep that in mind when you're building your intros, right? So what that means is if a listener does not listen for at least 30 seconds, if they don't listen for at least 30 seconds, then their stream will not be counted and you won't get the payment, in this case, 0.00 or 0.034 cents or whatever it is for that stream, right? The example that I give people is you could have 1 million people stream that song for 27 seconds, 28 seconds, and you'll see 0 streams and 0 cents from it, $0 from it, right? We need people to stay for the ride. We need them to have some level of retention to get into the main structure of the song. So if your intro, in this case, your intro is 38 seconds, right? And the early parts of this intro are the exact same progression in sound. It swells in volume a little bit, but exact same progression in sound design, exact same, it's the exact same kind of vocal line underneath it right there. Because it's so much of the same sound design and same format, a lot of people are just going to skip, right? A lot of people, they'll listen, they might go through like the first progression or two, and they hit the second, the second of the 8 bars right there, and they're like, okay, I'm 16 seconds in and nothing is happening. And then, maybe they wait a little bit longer, but most people are going to skip. And you're going to see that reflected in, your numbers and stuff like that too. Like what is likely the case is that like on this song, how many streams is this song? I don't think the streams are registered on where I can see them here. But let's say you're seeing 5,000 streams, making that up. Let's say you're seeing 5,000 streams. You might have had 25,000 people encounter the song. You might have had 30,000 people actually tap into that song or find it on a playlist or see it on social media and check it out, but only 5,000 have actually stayed past 30 seconds to have it register. And so I want you to focus on optimizing your intros. This doesn't have to be rigid and sterile and like overly surgical, but I would try to keep your every part of your song really having necessary information, right? Like to where when you start the song, there's like a rhyme and a reason why something is happening. In this case, this song has a 38 second, like 16 bar, like 16 measure intro. This is long, it's drawn out, slowly swells in, vocals slowly come in. And since you are swelling in anyways, I would cut that in half. Cut that down to 8, immediately start with a vocal structure and fade in from there, cut that all in half, and then start adding some different layers every, 2 to 4 bars to build up before the vocal hits for the verse. This long of an intro from here, I'll be honest with you, in an ideal world, 2, 3, 4, boom. Song starts right there. Ideal world, there's not a lot of extra information. I would start, again, I'm speaking to the future. Song's already out. I would start the beat with your vocal layers. So you immediately, right off the bat, you already have, 2, 3, and then the beat comes in right there. That's where it's like all of the necessary information is already there. It's the same pad, it's the same guitar. You build in the vocal layers right away. You maybe like say one thing or do one vocal line, and then the beat hits right away. And it just, for one, what that does, so that puts you at about 9 seconds. We're just speaking strictly practically here. That puts you at about 9 seconds. That means that it saved you about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds of the actual song, about the actual structure. What that means is that takes this from a 3-minute and 8-second song to a 2-minute and 40-second song. You know what I mean? As far as playlisting, as far as like being like viable for like most platforms and retention and replay value and just having a concise structure, that right there takes you from which some playlists have thresholds that if you're not a popular artist or it's like a smaller independent artist, like some of them will have like a 2.5 minute or 3-minute threshold for songs and stuff like that. So puts you under 3 minutes, puts you at 2:40. It's more concise. We're getting to the meat of the song and the message of the song sooner, in a way that's a lot more dynamic. That's not like really monotonous, where it's a lot of the same information for 38 seconds, right? So how you do that creatively is completely up to you. completely up to you, right? Like you don't have to take my rules or like my random things that I'm saying. I would figure that out for yourself and kind of see what makes sense as far as structure goes. It might be a completely different way of doing it, but in this case, you do want to consolidate those intros or make sure that there's like really good info in the beginning. One other version. Let me see. I'm gonna go into your hook really quick. I want to find that. Another way you can do this easily is to start with your hook over the early samples. So. See, that's still intro.
Running out of time, dark tunnel till I see the light. Wait, is it Malloy? Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies.
This is a hook right off the bat, right?
Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light.
So if you started, you know, let me hear it again real quick.
Wait, is it Malloy? Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies.
So like, even if you started like right off the bat with a filtered version of this, again, let's an imaginary world where you're doing the song a different way. Imagine you cut the intro in half and you only do those first 4 measures and then the hook hits. So you like 3. And we hit the hook strong right there. It's like you have like a filtered sample version of the hook. You introduce your vocal right away over a part. Like there's immediately like beneficial information when people come across it on social media. They come across it on a random playlist, whatever it may be. Your vocal is immediately. I can't talk today. Immediately there, and you can get the energy of the song right away. They know whether they're going to stay or they're going to leave and listen to something else. You're not stringing anyone along because the people that like it are going to stay past the 30 seconds. You'll get more streams. You'll get more money. The people that don't like it will know right away, and it'll be a lot more concise as far as like your streaming analytics and stuff like that. You'll know what's going on with your music, and I do think you will get more retention because of it. Introducing your vocal early. Not just in the like the background vocals, but actually like a portion of the song and just kind of slimming that down just a little bit. Okay. As a long songwriter, this is good info to know. Didn't know that about the playlist. Yeah, it depends. There's a lot of, obviously there's thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I don't know, so many playlists out there, user playlists as well as like editorial and corporate playlists. Like there's a lot out there. So it can be really beneficial to just kind of, depending on like what your goal is, thank you for the follow, what your goal is for your music. Now, this is a pop song, right? Like this is now there's some melodic rap undertones, sure. But you know, this is a somewhat of a pop, you know, alternative pop, hip hop, you know, song structure. That being the case, I would try to aim for, you know, 2 to 2.5 minutes. That sounds crazy. You don't have to do that. Feel free to ignore that. But more often than not, I'd aim for about 2.5 minutes. Especially if it is like a tight song structure, I would try to keep it pretty concise. And feel free to edit the beats. If you got this off, you know, an MP3 off YouTube, like edit it down, cut it down, crossfade it in, and then, you know, fade out the intro or fade out the outro a little bit quicker, stuff like that. Give me a quick second to just, I think a couple people said they submitted, so I do want to update a few things real quick and just see. So it's Philip, I got you. And yes, I got you. I got you, Chef. You're good to go. Sheffer. Let me get you on there. Beautiful, beautiful. Fabulous. All right, I got you on the board. You ready to go? Got you. Okay. And I think someone else said they submitted, but I haven't seen it. So just make sure if y'all are submitting, go to my profile, click on the link, and then read through and follow the details. I think someone else said they did, and I don't think I've seen it. So just double check that. Okay, let's go. Let's get a little deeper into the song part of it. You're good. You're ready to go. Appreciate you. Let's get into the hook here. What's up, Otis? Of course.
Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Just please don't tell me lies. Wait, is it Malloy? Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies.
Okay, one thing, I'm going to talk about the lyric structure here briefly. I'll chop through a couple things. Keep in mind, if you need to re-reference any of this, these are all saved to YouTube. You can go back and re-reference them anytime. Every single VOD is saved to a playlist called Track Talk Livestream. You can go back and watch the whole thing. So I'm going to speed run. I don't really speed run. I tend to take my time, but I'm going to try to be fairly concise. Bullet point a couple things. One of the things on the writing side that I want you to focus on is phrasing lyrics in a way, this takes some editing and re-editing, phrasing lyrics in a way that you don't have to fill. You have there can be a lot of, it's hard to explain kind of without context necessarily, but like just saying, like, looking at the skies, just please don't tell me lies. You don't need the just right there. You're using it as a filler to fill cadence, right? So there's a couple, I would say a decent chunk of times in your verses, and obviously consistently through the hook, since it's the same hook all the way through, where you have these filler words in order to maintain a consistent cadence. But it actually just makes a lot of, because of those like fillers and those breaths right there, it makes it feel just kind of rushed. It makes it feel a little bit more amateur sometimes, because there's not a start and end sentence that is just the full idea, or like a fully fleshed out phrase. It has like jumps in there, like the justs and stuff like that. And there's a couple of the lyrics, I just can't think of it right now. I'll go through it as we go. But a couple little moments like that have a fear, like where you don't have to say just, you could just say, looking at the stars, please don't tell me lies. You can have it like smoother, a little bit easier, but because you're rushing through some of these lyric structures, it makes it feel rushed. It makes it feel like there's a little bit of a lack of breath control as well. And I would love for you to be able to just kind of take your time and be able to like comp in well. Pro Tools is great at comping. It's one of the reasons why I love it. Comp in those vocals well without having to like rush those lyrics and like breathe in between and stuff like that. So be aware of where you came up with a lyric and didn't do any editing. Like oftentimes when you're trying to build that cadence, you'll have some filler words, but then try to maybe like get back into those lyrics and change some of your phrasing in order to refill that cadence without filler words. It makes the pocket feel a little bit more mature. It makes the lyric structure feel a little bit more polished and a little bit more mature. So that's why there's a couple times in there where there's those fillers, there's some rush lyrics. There's sometimes you tried to fit in an extra syllable to make it work, but you lose a little bit of control when you do that. I would love for this to feel a little bit smoother. And that's one of the things I want you to focus on. Where the queue is fairly open right now. We got a chunk of people in line, but we just got started. This is our first song. So if you would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you would like to check the line is up on the other platforms that we're live on. So we're live on 2 other platforms. You can find them at my link. Kevin, thank you for the follow. If you go check those platforms, you can see the line is up throughout the whole entire live. All right, let's keep it rolling.
It's running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die. Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark.
Okay, one other Otis, thank you for the follow as well. One other little detail in here. We'll kind of keep it rolling. Again, I want to bullet point some little details and explain them, and then we'll keep rolling. Another thing that I want you to do when you have the capacity to is get into manual editing of your vocal. Obviously, you have some auto tune on the vocal. In this case, that is just kind of locked into the key. In this case, it's C sharp minor, right? So you have that consistent cadence and pocket right there. I want you to get into manual correction of it, not just tuning the vocal to the key. The tool that I typically recommend, that I've used for like 18, 19 years, is Melodyne. I've used that for forever. There's other plugins now. Obviously, there's other tuning plugins. Even Antares has their pro graph mode that allows you to do some manual corrections. I'm used to and familiar with and really enjoy the interface of Melodyne, and I've used it for well over a decade and a half now. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to me, and I think it's probably the best at it, doing it transparently. One of the reasons why is because you have these, that's your like lead melody. It sounds cheesy right now, but that's your lead melody over that vocal right there. And one of the reasons why you're hearing this melody fall down is because there's a couple times where your vocal melody is halfway between 2 different notes, right? So if auto-tune is working and you have auto-tune on your vocal, what it's going to do is just going to take the closest note to the sense that you are at, right? So if you're at like 50, if your vocal is kind of modulating between 50, a sense being there's 100 cents per semitone. So if your vocal is modulating between 48 cents and 55 cents, and it's kind of right between that root, it's just going to pick and choose which note is like closest to that. So what you're going to hear in your vocal only auto tuning is that sometimes, like maybe your first vocals, like duh, and it's really clean and sharp. And then sometimes you're going to hear you're going to hear it dump down. It's going to jump down like a semitone down because that was closer for the auto-tune to reach. So what happens, you'll hear it. It makes your voice sound kind of, even though it's auto-tuned, it actually makes it sound out of tune based on the melody structure and the chords that you have, because auto-tune is correcting down some notes in between and making it feel a little bit more inconsistent, because most of them are right here. And then every once in a while, you hear that and you're like, And so you're starting to hear like the tension between those two notes. I'll play it for you really quick on the hook and you'll hear it. First time I think is really good. Second and third time, I believe you drop down a semitone. And again, that's just because there's two notes like this. There's two notes right here. You're kind of sitting right in the middle and it moves a little bit each time. So sometimes it corrects up and sometimes it corrects down and it's inconsistent. What I want you to do with Melodyne is for you to choose which note that vocal, obviously sources everything, perform it as best you can, as good of, you know, breath control and pitch control as you can as a vocalist, as a singer. Once you have done that, once you've, you know, performed it as best as you possibly can, that's where I want you to manually correct and be like, no, I'm going to place that note on the E. I'm going to place it there in Melodyne and then add the effect of auto-tune to smooth it out. Maybe, you know, quicken up the retune speed to have a little bit more of like a polished, you know, profile, pop profile to the vocal, stuff like that, right? Melodyne is where you're going to say, I want it to be a B, G sharp, F sharp, E. Every time I do that melody, it's going to make it hyper consistent and really, really cohesive. There's never going to be any pitch changes in there that aren't what you wanted them to be. It makes the whole vocal feel really polished and really professional. Chance, thank you for the follow. Damn, this guy. Thank you, Chance. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I have some more dollars in my hair. And yeah, so the cue is always modular. Cue is always modular. Kind of moves up and down depending on where people are and where they want to go. Do I have you on the cue right now, Chance? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah. I mean, I can do that independently. Most people, you know, most of what I do is the thing with like just doing little things like that is it's kind of an interesting thing to kind of dive into on its own. Most of the projects that I take on are big projects. So they're big mix and mastering projects, they're big production projects, or like big session work where I'm tracking, you know, 80s analog synths for, you know, 7 or 8 tracks for a big record or something like that. Most of them are bigger like projects that are more worthwhile. So it's like more money on the artist side and it's more time for me so I can really devote a day to it or a couple days to it and it makes sense. The hard thing with like just like, can you just tune the vocals is it tends to be like a really like small niche thing that oftentimes is like for it to be worth my time, it might not be worth your time, but we can always talk about it. We can always talk about it. So I can shoot me a message if you want me to do that because it is tedious and is super annoying. I love Melodyne, so I don't mind doing it. It's just completely up to what's worth, how much that convenience is worth it to you. Tay, thank you for the follow. That to me is completely up to you. Can I send unreleased or is it only, no, 100% unreleased, yeah. People do, the song we're listening to right now is released, but I would say 90% of people say send unreleased because a lot of what people utilize this live for over the last 3.5 years or so is for like a last step before distribution or going to the studio or going to an engineer. So a lot of people send in unreleased. You can send released, they did right now, but most people send unreleased or like older tracks to kind of get an idea of what they can polish and improve and stuff like that. Taryn, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, let me keep it rolling. All right, so let's hear that hook because one of the reasons why I like this live stream and one of the things I want to do with this live stream is kind of train your own ear as well. Because it's one thing for me, like, that's why I don't ever want to be the person like, yeah, dude, this is super dope. Just get a better mix, hire a better engineer. And people are like, okay, what do I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Same place, Chance. So go to that profile. There's an email there. If you go to the profile, click on the link, just read through those top details. You'll see an email right there. Just copy it over and then send the track over there, file, link, whatever it is. I got you. Any format. Okay. Let's play this hook, but I want you to be able to hear when that happens, right? So that's why I want to like, one of the reasons why I like this is we can kind of train your own ear to hear the issues. If you can never hear the problems, you never know how to build the solutions to them. So one of the best things that you can do as a musician, as an artist, as a producer, as an engineer, is to train yourself to be able to hear these problems. Sometimes that just takes a mass amount of repetition doing what you're doing, but I want you to be able to hear what I'm talking about and be like, oh yeah, that happens in all of my songs. And so we can kind of address it from there. Okay, so here's your first part.
Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies.
Da 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 da. Beautiful.
It's running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die.
Beautiful.
Looking for the things that make me feel alive.
Right there. Da 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 da. You hear it dip down. Da 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 da. There's a little dip one semitone below, and it scoops up.
Through the dark tunnel till I see the light. Looking at
Da 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 da. One semitone down, and again, that's just auto-tune pulling it down. It was a closer note. But if you correct it, it'll auto-tune it perfectly. And that's where you're getting like the really smooth vocal. Think of, you know, think of Justin Bieber, Kid Laroi, Charlie Puth, where it's like, it's really smooth and really, really clean every time they hit it. And there's, you know it's auto-tuned, you can tell it's auto-tuned, but you're not hearing the effect of auto-tune all the time unless they want you to. It's a little bit more transparent. You're not hearing the note like grab it and shove it into place, right? It's more of a stylistic choice. And that's what I want you to kind of listen for.
The sky just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like
Got you,
I'm
Chance.
gonna
I appreciate you so
die.
much.
Looking for the things that make me feel alive. Rocking through the dark tunnel till I see the light.
I got you, Tay. Shoot me a message. I got you. That's what I do for a living.
Too much fear, too much dear, but I had to keep fighting. Everything my mother told me, I knew that she wasn't lying. Everything I went through made me a king lion. Show the strength, show the passion, knowing there's a new diamond. Can't believe that this would happen. Knew the meaning without the caption. Everybody get the step and hope that
What's up, Nova? Good to see you. Hey, no problem, man. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow.
Back up from the muddy ground. Know it's kind of crazy, but this is going down. Wanna mess around? I guess you just found out. Made a mistake, and what you're gonna learn now. Pick yourself back up from the muddy ground. Know it's kind of crazy.
Perfect.
But
You're ready to
this
go.
is going
Appreciate
down.
you.
Wanna mess around? I guess you just found out. Made a mistake, and what you gonna learn now. Looking at the sky, just please don't tell me lies. Running out of time, feel like I'm gonna die.
All right, let's get into the next section right here. And here's the thing I want you to keep in mind, okay? This is an overarching point, probably one of the last things I'll say, because I think you have a couple little chunks right here that you can focus on and like building your song structure and your mix balance and stuff a little bit better. Overall, there's some good lyric structure in here, and there's good repeated melody. Like you have the structure down of understanding this is a hook, this is a verse. I'm going to separate the two. One thing I want you to keep in mind: this is kind of the curse of the YouTube beat and the cheap BeatStars lease and stuff like that. If that's what you have the capacity to do, I'm not going to knock it, right? It's more of a capacity thing. I've gotten so much better over the years because of the stream. Thank you so much, Derek. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that a lot. One of the things I want you to keep in mind, like I said, this is kind of the curse of the YouTube beat, is over repetition of production structure requires a lot of variation in vocal structure. I'll say it one more time. If there's hyper consistency in production structure, I'm talking the exact same drums, exact same chords, exact same loops, it requires a lot of variation in vocal structure or a lot of dynamics in vocal structure for it to sound good. Because then things are looped over, right? So what happens, and your brain starts to, what's up, Blue? Good to see you. Good to see you. I appreciate you tapping back in. Your brain will ignore perfect repetition over time. This is why direct loops aren't good to use, right? You need some editing of the dynamics, editing of your sound design and stuff like that. Thank you for the follow. Perfect loops, your brain will start to ignore. Do you ever go to work the same day? Maybe you work from, I don't know. You go to work the same way every single day, and there's a couple days of the week where you're like really tired. And you just kind of wake up at work. You just kind of you're like, oh, I'm getting out of my car. How did I even drive here? Your brain, in a lot of different situations, will just ignore repetition, right? If there's a lot of perfect, especially if it is quite literal digital repetition of the exact same sound. So if you take in this case, let's say this producer, you don't have them, right? But let's say this producer who made this YouTube beat or a type beat on BeatStars or something like that, they have a splice drum loop that they used, and they literally used this drum loop here. Only thing that they did, no, same studio, Blue. Only thing that they did was take away the hats and add in the hats again. If it's the exact same loop, exact same sound design, exact same structure, exact same chords, exact same 808 move, if all of that is exactly the same, what will happen is your brain will just it'll just start to tune it out. You know what I mean? Same thing with the vocal structure. Right? Good melody, good structure there. Over the course of the song, we need little flares outside of that to just wake up the brain. That's a good melody, and it's good repetition. I talk all the time about having repetition being necessary, right? To create pattern, there's a balance. Creating pattern recognition for the listener so that it sticks, and keeping it interesting so they stay engaged once it sticks, right? Those are the things it's always the crossroads we're kind of at, where I want your repetition. I want that structure to be there. At the same time, we need little moments in the production. The production doesn't really offer it because this is the way that they actually built the production, and they didn't really change anything about it, which then means it's up to you. Right? Most of these free beats or cheap beats, there are a lot of repetition where they just copy things over. They took out, the only thing that they changed is they took out the hi-hat for the second verse, added it back in, and we're back into the hook again. Same chords, same sound design, right? So it's up to you to create that dynamic and create that lift. So there's a little bit more pressure on your side to make that happen, but that means we need an additional layer, an additional ad-lib, or maybe a small little melodic change at the end of that hook to make it more engaging and making it, make it a little bit more interesting and nuanced to listen to. Because otherwise, that repetition, people will just it'll just slowly shut down. It'll just become monotonous over time. Even if it's a good thing, J-Man, welcome in. Even if it's a good thing, even if it's like a good song with good lyrics, too much of that same thing, and you'll feel the brain just kind of tuning it out and shutting it down. And obviously, we don't want that to happen. I want you to stay engaged. So keep that in mind. There's some productions that you'll find out there that are great. Most of the free stuff or the cheap stuff that you're going to find are very looped, which is, there's nothing specifically like wrong with that, although it is going to be to the detriment of your attention span. But, there's nothing specifically wrong with that. It just means there's some pressure on you to make this more interesting and making it more engaging to listen to and make your vocal feel like there's more inflection, more attitude, more emoting, more energy behind it, so on and so on, right? It's more of a requirement. Now, if this production was Bohemian Rhapsody and it's twists and turns and key changes and guitar solo, you could get away with it doing a couple things on the vocal that are a little bit more consistent because there's so many twists and turns in the dynamics and stuff like that. But in this case, most of these beats are very consistent, right? They're a lot of the same sound. In fact, like that first sample right here, that guitar, same guitar right there. And this is at the end. That's the beginning and the end of the song, in the middle of the song. Same guitar sample running the whole way. That repetition, it's there. It's fine. But that means you gotta put in some work on the top. You also love the Hacksaw Heathen. I like what you're doing. I like what so you have a lot of great intuition. Now it's about polish in your structure. Okay, I think that to me is kind of the biggest thing I want to address, because the mix we can always correct. Like there's some little things in there, as far as like opening up the vocal. But in my opinion, personally speaking, I don't think you need to focus a ton there. That will happen. You can always improve on that. I think that's fairly easy to improve on. Just watching more videos, more time executing as mixing your own stuff. Like there's some parts where I'm like, I could use a little bit tighter dynamic range in the vocal, a little bit more open on the top end. Like there's some things you could do that I think would open it up. I'm not too worried about that, because none of that matters if people don't stick around for it, right? So there's priorities. The mix for me is like priority 6. You know what I mean? It's like, even as someone who works professionally as an engineer, like that's down the road. If the song isn't good, if the lyric structure doesn't grab you, if the production is monotonous, there's structural aspects of this that if that doesn't exist in the production, then it doesn't matter if you attenuate 5K, 3 dB. Like that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if like the foundation isn't there, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. There's a lot that I do like though. There's a lot. Yeah, it is a tube mic. There's a lot that I do like though. There's a lot about your structure. There's a lot about like the way that you are intuitive about your layers, your accent vocals, your in and outs and stuff like that. That I feel like you're in a good spot as far as your intuition with how you build your songs. It's just a bit of polish now. You all show some love to Hacksaw Heathen. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I know it's been a couple live streams you've been waiting. I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you for taking your time. And thank you for being vulnerable and submitting your music, man. I can't wait to hear more from you. This is how the Beatles made it. Yep. Can you rate my style? We don't do ratings, no polls, no trash or pass, nothing like that. These are 20 to 30 minute detailed, long form consultations on the structure of your music. They're detailed. They're really, really nuanced. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking it down. If you would like to submit for that consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow the details there, and we'll get you up on the board ready to go. If you want to see the line, the order, the minimums, then you can find that at the other platforms that we're live on, which is the red and purple app. You can find them at my link. But once again, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. We'll get you up there. We got Derek Bennett in the building. Let's run it. We got the Dropbox. This is, let's see what this says. Washed in the blood, Derek. You got the details, man. Drop me the details. Maxime, welcome in. If y'all are over on TikTok as well, do me a huge favor. Tap the screen like crazy. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out the live stream. I'd appreciate it a lot. And we'll keep going with another handful of songs here. We got Derek Bennett in the building. Oops, don't do that. Over here, unfinished, unmixed. This is the vocal session I did last night. Ooh, this is fresh. This is fresh. I like the smile. You got it. Wait, I like the smile. You got it. No hate. I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know if I'm understanding at all what you're saying. I like the smile. You got it. No hate. Punk would never have happened. Beatles, if this was the model. Have no clue what you're saying. I would love to understand more of what you're saying, but I have absolutely no idea what that means. What type of music as I'm working on? Absolutely any style. Country, pop, hip hop, EDM, lo-fi, house, all the way across. It's gonna be a little bit of everything. Rock, jazz. We get a lot of everything here. In fact, I know we just heard like a melodic rap song, melodic pop song, and we're about to go into like a cinematic revision or reimagining of a hymn. So we're all over the place. And it's fun. We go super, super in depth. We're really, really nuanced with it. So it's a little bit all over the place, which is really fun. So any genre, any level of quality or preparedness. But don't know what laptop or PC should I get. I mean, there's a lot of taste involved with that. As far as like what computers use, I've used both. I've used PC and Mac. I started on a Mac, and then for a couple different versions of it. Moved to I did like a custom built PC, like a custom built gaming PC that I was using for a while. Switched back to a Mac, and I've been on Mac for probably the last I don't know, 6 years or something, like 6 or 7 years, maybe something like that. I like it. So I use a MacBook Pro M2 Max, that's decked, and it works great for a lot of the stuff that I do. Have had no issues with it. So kind of depends also maybe on the software that you're using. Like it maybe FL Studio works a little bit more intuitively when it comes to on a PC or something like that. I mean, it kind of really just depends. I would just get something that I would just get something that works well for what you're doing, that has enough power. Make sure it's got enough RAM. You don't need a ton, but try to get at least like 16 gigs. 16 is a decent amount, but like they usually recommend at least 8. Try to get 16 gigs of RAM. Make sure you have enough storage for all of the sessions that you're building. Make sure that your GPU and your CPU can actually handle the amount of plates you're going to be spinning, and the software that you're getting, stuff like that. But it's not I know some people that that love PC. I know some people that love Mac. I think most of the people that I have worked with use Mac, but I don't think it's not like a snobbery thing. I think you can make a lot of stuff work really well for you. What are your they're recording this week? Waiting on the choir to get on this still. Okay, got you, Derek. Sorry, let me answer a few questions. We'll dive in. What are your thoughts on recording vocals without any expensive equipment? If you're not going to use expensive equipment, then try to control your environment. Your environment is one of the first source things that affect your signal. That is your room and your voice, whatever it may, or your guitar, whatever it may be, is the first stop in your analog chain. You know what I mean? Like that's the first step, right? So before you start spending, like you said, if you don't have a lot of expensive equipment, most of my career as a session musician or as an engineer or a producer was with cheap stuff, right? I couldn't afford expensive stuff for a very long time. It took a lot to even make it worth it. Like what I started doing when I was taking on more and more clientele, and getting paid more and more for what I was doing, is I kind of upgraded things as necessary. Like I had a Stratocaster. It's still on the wall over here. I had a Stratocaster, and I had a client reach out to me for some guitar session work, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna be needing some guitar work on an upcoming track. And I would really love for more of a hollow body, kind of like jazzy, bluesy tone. And I've been wanting to get a Gretsch for a long time. The session was going to be like $450, something, $400, $500, something like that, for this particular session. So I used that session to partially at least pay for getting one of the Gretsches that I have in here now, and like just stuff like that, where it's like I just upgraded as it was like necessary for my business. And I was like, well, that session paid for half the guitar or whatever it was at the time, and so stuff like that, right? But if you can't afford a lot of expensive gear, there's nothing wrong with that. There's amazing records that have been made in weird places with weird gear and cheap stuff. Like that's not the price tag on an item is not necessarily what makes it good for the job, right? It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But if you can't afford expensive stuff, your environment is going to be the first piece of that puzzle. So if you're recording with a cheap mic and a cheap interface or whatever it may be, record in your closet. Put some blankets up, get some curtains on the windows, get a rug in the room, flip up your mattress, hold your comforter over your head, go record with your laptop and your interface out in the car, because they're usually pretty treated, especially with like cloth seats. It can actually be, there's like high density foam in cloth seats. Like that's a pretty decent environment with, double seal windows and whatever. Like there's a lot of things that you can do to make like cheap recording still sound controlled, which I think is what most people are looking for. So yeah, you don't need expensive stuff. Expensive stuff is great. It is, it is better in some senses depending on the actual like structure that you're looking for, but it's not necessary. So like, do what makes sense for you. Do what makes sense for what you're doing creatively. Is Mac Air good or go for Pro? I want to get a, it depends on a couple different factors. One is just connectivity. So like if you're connecting an interface with USB-C, you have another screen, you have whatever, like it kind of depends on what you need. The main thing that I would, appreciate you, Hack. Thank you, man. The main thing I would just look for is the stats. Look for storage. Look for, I think the new MacBook Airs are pretty solid. I have a lot, right? Like I got two screen. I've got a lot happening. A bunch of rack stuff, computers, screens, all this stuff that's connected, right? Lights and cameras and interfaces and whatever. There's a lot that I've connected here, so that requires a lot more of an ability to like process all of that and handle all of that. That might be different if you are just gonna like start out recording on GarageBand and just plug in like a USB mic or like a cheap condenser mic into an interface and just record into GarageBand, that might be perfectly fine to get like an Air with 16 gigs of RAM, 528 gigs of storage, and some external hard drives or something. That might be perfect. All right, I got to get into some music. This destroys creativity. It's a thing, but it's control. Don't step out. Any one of the good guys. Jimmy Drum is not making any sense. Okay. What's controlling creativity? Anyways, okay, let's get into it. This is Washed in the Blood by Derek Bennett. There's a choir coming later this week. So they're recording later this week. Let's run it from the top. This is the first time I've heard this. This was just tracked. This was one of his first vocal sessions. This was just tracked last night. So let's get into it. Jocks, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Have you been to Jesus for cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Do you fully trust in His grace this hour?
We could probably do something like that, Billy. It depends on a lot of factors, but if it's explained well, potentially. Brand new, welcome in. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. And sorry if I missed some questions, y'all. There's a lot that are coming in on different platforms, so. Depends on your budget. M1's going to be a lot cheaper, but at least M1.
Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow?
Beautiful voice.
Are you washed in the blood?
KD, welcome in.
When the bridegroom comes, will your robes be white? Are you washed in it? Are you washed in it?
I like the
Will
claps.
your soul be ready for the
This part of the structure is really nice.
Don't
spam the chat. If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link.
There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. Are you washed in the blood, the soul cleansing blood? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood, the soul cleansing blood?
Excellent, Derek. That's awesome, man. It's such a fun experience, isn't it? That's cool, Derek. That's, yeah. I love the dynamics on this track, man. It's amazing. Classy Function, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, amazing voice.
Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb?
Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is Derek Bennett music. You'll see him hopping around the different platforms. I see him over on YouTube right now. But yeah, show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's dive into it. He's doing a series of some really cool, like, cinematic stuff here that it's been really, really fun to break down. So let's go back through it. Let's break down the structure here, dive into some production elements, and let's get into it. And if y'all do want to submit, I see some people asking if you would like to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultation on the structure of your music, which is what we're doing here. If you want to dive into the mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure, that's what this live is all about. It's not a review. There's no quick trash or pass ratings or polls. It's a deep dive. It's long. It's detailed. If that is interesting or helpful or valuable to you, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the steps there, or feel free to hang out for a bit, see what we're all about, and just join the community, network with people, so on and so on. But yeah, if you want to submit, all of that happens at my profile. All right, let's run it from the top. That's Washed in the Blood by Derek Bennett music. First time recording vocals in studio, so it's very, very exciting, man. I'm proud of the work that you're putting in. It is such a great experience, and just gives you such a different element of control when it comes to, like, building out layers for the vocal and stuff like that. So let's run it out. Let's run it out from the top. There's a little, okay, so early on from the production side. So C sharp major is kind of, you know, that's kind of our main, like, first couple lines here. The low, excuse me, the low pad that you have right here, I mean, I love it. It's weighty. I've got another session in 2 weeks, different vocals. Dude, that makes me so happy to hear. It's so much fun. This low pad right here, I don't mind holding with the low pad, but you are moving pretty consistently with, I think, the other chord underneath it. So, okay, right there. So you're moving to the F sharp, right? So that. Now, if you wanted to keep it consistent, if you want to keep the pad, I would keep the low end of the piano. So if you're going to be here, right? Like, you can keep that tension right there. If you're going to move to the F sharp, right, and change the, which it's a great seventh, and, like, it gives you a lot of great tension right there that I really like. But if with the pad not moving with it, it creates a lot of tension between the left hand of the piano and this really washed pad that's kind of covering a lot of the mix in the low end and the low mids. Because of all of that kind of competition right there, it gets a little bit muddy. And then you bring in an 808 that's also doing, like, you know, some syncopations and stuff. That gives you a lot of energy down there that I think is a little bit challenging to all fit together. What I would probably do is, one option would be to drone a couple octaves higher and have, like, your high pad, that synth pad, be like 2 or 3 octaves higher and turn down by like 7 dB. You know what I mean? Like, just doo, doo, and it's just kind of sitting in the, and then when you switch chords, it's sitting so much higher that it can, like, almost just acts as the 5th to the F sharp, as opposed to being the main bass line, but then the bass line's moving in and out of it, if that makes a little bit of sense. So I would either push that as a high, thin, like, brighter drone, and or move, there's like 3 options, either move that all the way up, or change the chord with the pad to match the piano changing the chord, or don't change the piano chord and keep, which I kind of like. I like the tension. I like that energy that's kind of in the low end there. What I would probably do is just keep it on the low C sharp with the piano and keep that tension building right there. That, to me, builds a little bit more anticipation, gives you a little bit more energy. What's up, 5 Man? Of course, man. Of course. I appreciate you. Gives you a little bit more anticipation. All right, let's get into the main pocket here.
Have you been to
This 808 structure here, personally, stylistically, to me, this structure right here comes in with a lot of intensity right off the bat, right? Of boo, 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 boo. You know what I mean? Like it's got a lot of energy to it with those syncopations. There's a lot of energy building that doesn't really ever like relieve itself later on in the song, because when the drums actually come in, they come in a little bit more like strictly like it's like an open contemporary rock groove. There's some other elements that are kind of mixed in there. To me, I would leave this up to you obviously, but like I would maybe leave this verse open and just like take out the bass right here and just let it move on the piano and the pads. And instead of having these do, it gives it this like really heavy feel to what is potentially like a really like light, melodic, kind of ethereal sound right now. It makes it feel really heavy and dark and intense, where the vocal is doing some like really light, airy, beautiful things. And so I would just make a choice there as far as like, do I want to air more dark and moody, which kind of happens a little bit later. But in my opinion, most of this like bright, kind of tinny, almost 80s, early 90s piano, like with a lot of reverb and pads and stuff like that. To me, that's a little brighter and more positive. And so to me, the 808 pulls it down. It makes it really kind of dark and really heavy sounding. I don't know if I would do that at least not that early, maybe in the second verse if you feel like it.
Cleansing power, are you washed in the blood?
Like you can get away with just piano and pads here if you wanted to, with some synths doing some little lyric, some little licks in the background.
Do you fully trust in it?
Like in my opinion, like you having, there's a little percussion in the background right there. I think is really interesting. I like a lot of your sound design in here. Having the strings and the pads and some of those background synths, and then just adding in the percussion to build up right there, I think is enough intensity building up and anticipation building up to like satisfy the dynamics until you get into like the next like main hook or something like that. So play around with that a little bit, about, coming in too early with really, really heavy elements, and see if you can't spread out that anticipation a little bit, more cohesively.
His grace, this hour, are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you
Like here, like this already builds up in a way naturally that I don't think we need the 808s, personally speaking.
daily baptized? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Do you rest each moment?
It's a good build up here.
Are you
And you can hear how everything is very, it's, dun, 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 dun. Like everything's like, it's got this really nice like staccato to it. It's got a really, really nice blend. Like the strings sound really nice here. So, and I like that it keeps it very like forward moving. It's like a great drive forward in the song. And then the vocals kind of smooth all of that out. And then the 808 adds like a different syncopation. It's kind of it's a little bit of like a left turn right there. Either maybe have a different kind of a bass in there. Like in my opinion, I'm almost just like a classic finger bass. You can filter it down a little bit. I think would be more in line with most of your other more organic sound design, especially when you bring in the bigger drums,
washed in the
if anything.
blood of the Lamb? Are you
Yeah,
washed
this is all
in the
nice.
blood
Opens up nicely,
in the
especially once it's mixed.
cleansing blood of the Lamb?
Great harmonies. Those will be positioned in the mix too.
Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb?
Harmonies are really nice. Same thing with a little bit of the hold on the low end of the pad here. I just have it higher, or just hold on the. Sorry. I just hold on the C sharp, right? Like you could on this interlude right here. I don't even know if you need the whole. This is obviously up to you how you want to build out the section of the song. But I'm almost curious if it would be better and just more concise to just do one like 2 rounds of that lick straight back into the verse. Since you're doing a progression, you feel like you have to finish the progression, which pushes it another 4 to 8 measures out instead of just and you just do like 2 lines through there and you're right back into the verse. It's like a little bit more concise, a little bit more connected without having to do like, now we got to go through the F sharp, B flat minor, G sharp. Like we have to go through this whole turnaround right here. You can actually just do it within those first like 4 to 8 measures, hold on the C sharp, do the high lick that you have there without running through the full progression right there. It makes it a little bit more concise, saves you like 8 seconds, which isn't a big deal. It's a worship song. So being incredibly concise isn't necessarily the name of the game here, but I do think that you can make it a little bit more concise right there without feeling like everything is kind of stretched out. I just finished a gig and I'm happy that this popped up on my feed. Morgan, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here as well, Morgan. If you want to submit, keep in mind these are like 20 to 30 minute long consultations. They're detailed, they're long, they're really nuanced. If you want to submit for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. If you want to check the line, which I would encourage most people to do, I have it up on the other platforms that we're live on. Which you can find in my link as well. We're live on Twitch and YouTube as well. All right, let's get into this next section here. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. When the bridegroom comes. I love that. This is why I was interested with the 808 is because I really like this sound design that you have here. It's like real sounding claps, acoustic guitars, natural like spiccatos on the strings. Like you have a lot of like great, very natural, organic sounding production, and then the 808's it's very like digital, hip hop and pop production. And so I like this little pocket to me is when the bridegroom comes, will your robes be white? I love this. This feels like really in line. This is like produced really well. It's got a lot of like energy in the mix between the guitars and the drums and stuff like that. This is like I would use this little section right here and going forward as like what the main song is and deconstruct from there, like take some elements away to build back from that so that this is kind of the main sound design that you're using. Like I really like the way that you're building in this song structure here. Gracie, welcome in. Feel free to bring back in some other melodies here, right? Like you have this, like even like on some of these B sections, right? Like some of this here, A section dry. Lay aside the garments that are stained with sin. There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. You don't have to make it super, super busy, but I think once you clean up the pad, which I think is the biggest mud element in the low end, once you clean up that pad, however you realign things, you might have a little bit more room to have some other like counter melodies in there that really fit in the song and give you some like other hooks in there that are recognizable as a part of the production. Okay, let me get into this last section here really quick, but most of this sounds awesome, man. It sounds really good. This is obviously an amazing, amazing voice. Really, really well done. Choir will fill out here as well. Add a piano in the B section. Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's some stuff I know are typically tucked a little bit farther back as well. Is there a low? So there's some great ad-libs and great harmonies there. What a voice. Awesome voice. Fantastic voice. Is there, and I think will there be choir here as well? If there are, let me know. Court, welcome in. Good to see you. If there's gonna be choir here as well, let me know. Tone, good to see you. The other thing is I would love if the choir might fill some of this. I would love a low octave under the vocal right now. She has a fantastic high register, a great mixed voice at the top. She's got a low harmony in there as well. If she only has like a third harmony, because I hear the harmony in the background, I think it's on the right side a little bit. If she doesn't have a low octave there, I would have, whether you do that digitally, if she's not able to come back and track or whatever it may be, and or the choir has that in there, I would make sure there's that octave right there. I want to hear in the mix as well because it's a lot of the it's up there, right? Like and then even her ad-libs, they're high, and her harmonies to that are really, really high. So even beyond like the harmony structure, having the having that melody that's matching hers, but right below it, I think would be really nice as well. McLovin, welcome in. Good to see you. I asked Choir to harmonize during this part. Okay, perfect. So if there is some structure there that carries that octave, I think that's great. If you end up getting some of it back and that doesn't exist there, I would search out a low octave. Maybe you could do it, or find a filler right there, or a male vocal there, to add the low octave right there in a place that's really comfortable. Because when all of the vocals, even without the choir, because the choir is going to be spread, right? It's going to be wide. It's going to be vibrant. Even without the choir there, if all of the main lead vocal structures, it's all way up there, it's got all this air and this breath to it, you'll lose some of like the grounding part, right? Like the part that's easy to kind of connect to as a typical vocalist, the octave that most people singing along to the song aren't hitting those notes. Yeah, male and female vocals will probably be an octave to do octaves below to support the song. That's where most people will be, outside of a few people that are going to be reaching for that, right? So keep that in mind, because it sounds amazing. It's beautiful. It's great clarity at the top of her vocal there. It's a great mixed voice. I just want to make sure it still feels grounded, still feels supported by the production. DT's in the building. What's up, DT? So good to see you, man. I appreciate seeing that name pop up in the chat. I'm a vocalist that mainly does screams. Hell yeah. Do you reckon I invested in an SM7B? I have an SM58 right now. I have an SM7B. I don't know where it is. I think it's in another room. I think it's in my mic storage, my mic storage locker or whatever. I like the SM7B, and I think it's great for what you're doing. I think it's worthwhile. I've been good, man. It's so good to see you, DT. Hope life is treating you well as well. I think the SM7B is great for that. Get you a Triton Fat Head or a Cloud Lifter, and it's a good microphone. It can handle a lot. It can handle a lot of noise. So if you're doing a lot of like false chord and fry screams and stuff like that, I have a ton of wind and a ton of projection behind them, then the SM7B is great for stuff like that. I mean, you could also get away with, for the same price, if you're going to spend $400 to $500 anyways, there's some great, large diaphragm condensers that will work well. But I have seen the 7B be I've used that for there's a couple libraries that have that bring me on to track rock vocals for them occasionally, and I've used the 7B several times for that, just because it just works. It's not a great sounding microphone. I think it's a mistake. People get it because they think it's good. It's a tool. It's a good tool for the thing that you're doing. So yeah, anyways, long-winded answer. 7B is going to work great for you. It will feel like an upgrade from a 58. Just better control, just better profile to it. You're going to be able to throw a little bit more out of it. But the 58's awesome, man. The 58's classic. But yeah, the 7B can't go wrong. It's just, don't get a fake one. You're almost better buying one new these days, to be honest with you. There's so many fake ones out there, even just like on Reverb and eBay and stuff like that. So don't, be careful. Keep that in mind. Find an open box somewhere or something like that. But there's a lot of fake ones, so just keep that in mind. Got something to do, DT. Come on, man. Come on. Don't tempt me with a good time. Alice, welcome in. I love the supportive line underneath. We've talked about that a lot. I love that. Casey, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping in. The that low support of the original melody structure for the hook underneath, and then being able to float, that gives you permission, especially if the choir's in there, that gives you permission and to float away with these really high ad-libs up there, that high mix voice, because there's a foundation of the original hook underneath it. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Love it. Yeah, 100%. Got you, DT. I got you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the follow. Better with friends. I appreciate that.
In the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb, are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in
I can't wait to hear a mix on this, man. This is beautiful. A couple little production tweaks, structural tweaks, and you'll be ready to go. Whoa, Jesus, whoops. Y'all show some, no pun intended. No pun intended. Tristan, well, sorry, that's stupid. Tristan, welcome in. It's good to see you. Y'all, please show some love. It's Derek Bennett. They're over on the Red app. Maybe in the near future, I'll switch to putting the chat back on the screen over on Twitch and YouTube, but I don't like it covering up the stuff in the studio, but whatever. But y'all, please show some love to Derek Bennett Music. That was his first time tracking with a vocal in studio, and he crushed it. He absolutely nailed it. He crushed it. It sounds great, man. It sounds really, really, I can't believe this is actually live. What's up, G? What's up, G? We are live. I'm real, and I'm right here in the flesh. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thanks for tapping into the stream. But y'all, please show some love to the family, Derek Bennett Music. Let's keep the music rolling. We have, let me see where I'm at. Felix, if you want to see the line, it's modular. It's changing all the time as we go through the live. So if you want to see the live, if you want to see the line, the order, and the minimums, it's on the other platforms that we're live on, Twitch and YouTube. So you can find it at my link. You can go to my link, and you can go to either one of those platforms and see the line over there. If one of them has ads, hop onto the other one and vice versa. That way we're live over there on both of those. It changes all the time. In fact, it just changed again because someone else came in. So I recommend that y'all keep it up over there so you can kind of stay with it. All right, I think I don't have this updated. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, it's updated. Okay, we got about... Let me see where I'm actually at here. 1, 2, 3. So 5 total. So 3. Okay, we got 3 more songs, y'all. 3 more songs. I'm not the artist. But can I submit my little brother's band? It's a new release. Definitely, Casey. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for being here. And that's incredibly supportive and generous of you. That's amazing. Yeah, if you would like to, if y'all want to submit, I'm updating some things right now because we got 3 songs left. So I'm updating everything here now. And updating minimums as we go and keeping all of this in line. Hopefully I have all of this updated for sure. Let me see. Retracks in the building. What's up, Retrack? Hope you're doing amazing, man. Let's see. Let me see. Update. Okay. Yeah, keep an eye. That's why I want y'all to keep an eye out over on the queue, on the line on the other platform. So we got 3 tracks left. If you don't get heard tonight, or you have to leave for any reason, or I have to leave for any reason, your credit is always saved, as you should know, and as you can see in all the steps that hopefully y'all read and paid attention to, because I know y'all all read all of the steps for sure. Retrack, thank you for the harmony. I appreciate you. Yeah, so just keep your eye out on that. If you don't get heard, obviously you'll always be saved. I will never listen without you. I'll always make sure that you're here. So whether that's tomorrow or next week, doesn't matter to me. Just come back in and I'll actually, in fact, if I save your credit, I'll add to it. Anytime that I save someone on the board because I couldn't get to them, I always add at least $5 more to what y'all have in order to give you a little bit of a boost so that you can get a little bit of a heads up next time. In fact, that's how Hacksaw Heathen started out the live as the top person, because he came in a couple times, wasn't able to get heard, and I pushed him all the way to the top. So I always try to make sure I make sure y'all are taken care of. Derek, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Okay, I'm just waiting on DT's track to come in here. Oh, boom, it just came in literally this second. Let's get it downloaded. DT, give me the deets. DT, give me the deets. Is downloading right now. Eddie is in the building. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Keep sharing out the live. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream. This is too fast. Have I heard this, DT? Have I heard this? Too Fast by DT, a little different vibe for me. You have not heard this. Let's go. Nicole's in the building. What's up, Nicole? Just did this yesterday. All right, this is Too Fast by DT. This is the family, y'all. This is the family. They're over on the Purple app right now. They're over on Twitch. Go show it some love and support. I like nostalgic music more than new ones. The genre really evolves. I love nostalgia. I mean, I'm an 80s. I'm not from the 80s. Whatever, from the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. But I love the 80s. 80s is my favorite era of music. So I'm a big fan of nostalgic music as well. That's why half the synths I have in here are from the 80s, because I love it. I love it. All right, just did this yesterday. This is Too Fast by DT. We got 3 songs left, which means we're closing up the line after the next song or 2. So we only have 3 songs left. Top 3 on the board are going to be the ones that are heard. The rest will be saved and boosted next time. So keep that in mind as you're checking things out. All right, let's go, DT. It's time.
Yeah. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush into it. Let's just take our time. Gotta build my
check the line, Shepard. Check the line.
I think you're moving too fast for me.
Because it's changing all the time, so I gotta make sure it's in order.
Thought I found love before, but it didn't work out. Gotta proceed with caution this time around. It ain't nothing against you though. You're something special, I know I'm trying to pursue. But I can't go fast cause I might lose control. It's hard to do it again after what I've been through. Hope you understand, baby. Wanna be a man, baby. Trips to Japan, baby. So many beaches, our suitcases filled with sand, baby. Want you so bad, I won't divert from the plan, baby. Just slow down. Yeah, if it's meant to be, then we can wait and see. Just do it patiently. Yeah. I believe in us, no, I ain't going nowhere. I just need to ease into it, cause I ain't ready today. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush into it, let's just take our time. Gotta build my trust in you before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take
Let's
your
go,
foot
DT.
up off the gasoline? Thought I found love before, but it didn't work out. Yeah. Gotta proceed with caution this time around. When I dream of us together, yeah, I do think it's forever. But take your foot off the pedal. This ain't no race for a medal. Yeah, we can do it whenever. Don't compare us to your friends, cause low-key I think they settle. Yeah. Oh no, no. Yeah, I think you're moving too fast for me. Too fast for me. Oh no, no. I think you're moving too fast for me.
I love the roads in the background. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Yeah, don't drop your chat. Don't drop your track in the chat. Shepherds, it's on the other platforms that we're live on. So go to YouTube or Twitch. You can find them at my link. Always up over there. Always up over there. So just, yeah, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just go to one of those other platforms. You'll see it up there the whole time. It's always listed up there. Y'all show some love to the family DT. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. This is a little bit of a different feel for you, but I like it. I think it works really well with your structure. It's really fun with your structure. But you have to pay for the review. That's crazy. It's not a review, so that is crazy, I guess, if that's what you think. It's not a review. That's not what we're doing. But y'all show some love. That is Too Fast by DT. They're over on Twitch right now if y'all are curious about where they are. Big Zay Official. These are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultations on the structure of the music. There's no review. There's no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. I'm not going to listen to the song and say, hey, man, have a better mix. Have better energy on the mic, and then we move on after 5 minutes. Every time that we listen to a song, we're going through it like usually 2 or 3 different times, breaking down different elements of it, mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure. And then we listen to the track and break it down and consult on different features of it for about 30 minutes for every single song. So yeah, it's not a pay to play. It's not a quick review. It's not a trash or pass. I'm not rating anyone's song. I'm not doing anything like that. It's a super detailed long form breakdown and consultation. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some of the details here. I'm assuming really quick, DT, that this is like a YouTube beat, right, or a BeatStars or something like that. You don't have the multi-track for it. I'm assuming just loosely based on this first listen. Okay, perfect. All right, let's dive into it. Let's run it from the top. Yeah, Shepard, you're on there, so we have 2. That's why I want you to keep an eye out on the list over there. I have 2 songs left. So currently speaking, that's Chance and Philip if they're here. Depends on if everyone's here. If one of them isn't, then you might still be on one of the last ones right there, but you're definitely on the list. You just might be saved depending on how many people are still here and who's kind of in the line as people are coming in. So there's a possibility you might get saved. It just kind of depends. But we got 2 songs left. Currently, that's the top 2. It's always going to be the top 2 on the list there. All right, let's run it from the top. I do like this vibe of production with your vocal though. Atlas, welcome in.
Yeah. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush into it. Let's just take our time. Gotta build my trust in you before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? Thought I found love before, but it did.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'm listening for some chord. Okay, one of the things I want to dig into really quick here. Oh, you have a great lead, very, very catchy, great repetition, really good structure on like that lead melody. The thing I'm listening for, and I'm kind of trying to dissect here a little bit within the progression, is the pedal tone, right? So you have this dun 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 dun. You have like a fall off vocal at the end right there, but it's largely like a pedal tone, same note, like all the way through as your harmony. I love that idea. I'm going to listen with the thing I'm listening listening for, because that's a cool, interesting part of the vocal structure there. The thing I'm listening for is the tension that has with the progression that's in the beat. So that's kind of what I want to dive into here. I'm going to run it from the top, and we'll. This is F to F sharp.
I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush.
So that's kind of that's like the main structure underneath it. It's just this. Don't do that. Right, up to the F sharp. So I'm listening for where your note comes in. So let's see. Zombie, thank you for the follow.
Yeah. I think you're moving too fast. For me, could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush into it, let's just take our time. Gotta build my trust in you before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gas?
So yeah, we're kind of sitting. I think it's mainly this A sharp that I'm listening for here. I'm gonna hear it from the beginning here again, or this early progression. I think it's this A sharp.
Yeah. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need to rush into it, let's just take our time.
Octave.
Gotta build my
Hey Marie, welcome in.
before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast
For me, dun, dun. So the pedal tone's the A sharp right there. And Marie, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that. Sebby's in the middle. What's up, Sebby? Good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in. So this is kind of the tension that you're feeling. Okay, what I'm like hearing here, some of the tension that I'm hearing, part of it is just prominence. So I want to keep this in mind as well. I think a little bit of what we're hearing is mitigated by the vocals just like both being back by like 3 or 4 dB, and then the whole beat being turned up and balanced, right? I'm not even worried about that because it's like not final mix. You did this literally yesterday. I'm not worried about that at all. So what I'm kind of listening for is, for one, is just the prominence of the vocals and kind of where it sits. You can probably bring back that pedal tone and the layer in the background down by a couple dB compared to the lead vocal, and then all of the lead vocals can come down a little bit. I think that'll give it better context. Like it'll make more sense in the production. Right now, these notes are so prominent. Seb, double check the line over on the other platform, because no, we're a little bit higher right now because we're at the end of the live. We only have 2 songs left, line's closing in a little bit. They're so prominent that they become one of the main features of the melody, and that main feature is really direct, right? Where it's a pedal tone, in this case, just being one note. Right for me. That's a little lead off melody there. Because it's so prominent, it becomes the main thing as opposed to tension in the back. Like what I think is great about those harmonies, those like, like monotonous harmonies in the background in a good way, one note harmonies in the background, is that they add tension. If the like just a little bit of tension in the background, it gives it this like crunch. You know what I mean? It some people call them crunchy harmonies. That's like seconds, pedal tones, stuff like that. Like when you have 2 notes that are next to each other, it gives it tension, that crunch, which I really like. If that tension, though, that kind of uneasy feeling, that tension is like a main element, then the main thing that you're feeling and hearing is a little bit negative, or it's like a little bit disconcerting, if that makes sense, like a little bit off-putting or disconcerting. So make those harmonies, which I think are interesting and weird and quirky. I love that you're doing that. I think it's awesome. Make them a little bit more of a support system to the vocal. Like it barely exists there as just like a little pop of color in the very back of the beat, not necessarily one of the main parts of the vocal structure. And again, it's not mixed. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, let me get a little bit deeper into this, but I do like the structure of the hook. It's catchy. There's great repetition. That's something you never struggle with. Good melody, good lyric structure, stuff like that. So,
for me, could you take your foot up off the gas?
Because if I'm imagining, I could hear those melodies working really well, because if that's the lead melody line there and that's the chords that are moving underneath it with that bass, then that works. But if the tension's coming from the other note in the back, not to keep beating that down.
Thought I found love before, but it didn't work out. Gotta proceed with caution this time around. It ain't nothing against you though. You're something special, I know I'm trying to pursue. But I can't go fast cause I might lose control. It's hard to do it again after what I've been through. I've been through it, yeah. Hope you understand, baby. Wanna be a man, baby. Trips to Japan, baby. So many beaches, places filled with sand, baby.
I don't know. I like it. So that's why I kept going over and over, trying to figure it out. Is I really like what it's doing. It's just too forward. Again, unmixed, doesn't matter. Like it's just too forward in the structure to where it's become a main element as opposed to the background. So I like it because it's not just a high and low octave. It's not just the a double on either side or something like that, but it actually is offering you like a lot of color and a lot of tension that I haven't heard as much in a lot of your music. Like most, in a good way, most of your music has been very like clean cut, right? Everything's like doing exactly what it is. It's a high and low octave right here. It's a third note harmony left and right. It's a nice little ad lib as a filler every once in a while. You're very like surgical with the way that you like produce your vocals and the way that you line things up. So I've always appreciated that. This is one of the first times, like you said, you're like, I'm trying kind of a different way of building a harmony right here. And so just make sure that it is the support system it's supposed to be and it doesn't take over. If that's the case, I do think it'll work really well. Another thing you could do here that would help, I think, a little bit is getting it out away from that vocal and doubling it. So like you do have it's a little bit left, I believe. Doubling it and putting it on the outside so it's wraps around the vocal and then pulls back. So like double one on the other side, or like just record it again on the other side and then pull it like 5 dB back in the mix, 4 dB back in the mix, and it'll be just this nice little texture unit in the back of the production, which I think will be really nice as well. You can fine tune that a little bit. Okay, one thing I want to pay, maybe one of the only other things I want to pay attention to, because most of your actual song structure I think is awesome. I think it's as always, it's colorful. It's got a lot of cool energy to it. Like I've always loved your voice. It's so smooth, so easy to listen to. One of the things that I want to be aware of is the register of voice that you're singing in and kind of the notes that are in that range, right? Of this, and then you're like hook.
No need to rush into it, let's just take our time. Gotta build my trust in you before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast for me.
So we're kind of, it's in this register, right? It's in this kind of pocket up here. It's all within this like fifth up here. Good melody variation. What I would love is a register variation where the whole song doesn't feel like it's there, but there's a little bit of a break from that energy. So you're doing a great job of changing melody and having variation there. No issues there at all. I kind of feel, welcome over, Sebbi. Good to see you. I kind of wish there was a register change to like a lower moment. Like even in these verses, what I like about these verses on the production side is it empties out a lot. It gets, it gets much more empty and much more open. You basically like drums, high pad, and a nice little, funky Moog bass in the background. Fabulous. Love it so much. There's a lot of cool elements in there, but it's really, really simple. And then we still have all of this kind of high energy in the vocal. If you have it in your vocal range, which I think you do, I think I've heard it from you, I would love for this to actually be like maybe the low octave. Let me see how that sounds. Let me update this really quick. Sebbi, I got you. Thank you so much, Sebbi. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that. Let me get you up here. It's good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being here. Miranda's in the building. What's up, Miranda? Welcome in, welcome in. All right, let's hear this verse here.
It ain't nothing against you though. Love before, but it take your foot up off the gasoline. Thought I found love before, but it did.
That's what I'm used to. Also, first time trying a whole song with a higher octave. Yeah. So it's always like a weird process with stuff like that. Happy Wednesday. It's always an interesting process with stuff like that. That can work better if the music's more dynamic. You know what I mean? Like because that's the thing. What's gonna happen? Even if it sounds good, we talk about this all the time. Even if it sounds really good and you're doing a really good, really cool thing, if it's like that bass is doing the, boom, does that the whole entire song, same kick and snare pattern, hats coming in and out. That's pretty much one of the only things that changes is like the kind of pop it in out, of the mix here to kind of change the dynamics. Largely speaking, it's like really consistent dynamic, really consistent dynamic. And so then if your vocal is then also a very consistent dynamic and very straightforward, then it's going to start to get monotonous, not because it doesn't sound good and you're not doing cool things, but just because it's a lot of the same elements happening over the long term. So that's kind of what I'm curious about. If you're going to keep that same octave, you can. I mean, obviously there's nothing like, specifically wrong with it or like unmusical about it. It's just going to start to sound a little bit one note over the long term. So that's kind of what I'm listening for. Let me hear this verse again really quick. How much more do I need to send? Eddie, we heard tonight, bro. Sorry to ask. No, you're good. You're good, Sheffer. That's what I want to make sure that you check the line on the other one, just so you can make sure that you can see, because you can see it. That's up to you. It's changing all the time. In fact, it just changed like 20 seconds ago. So Sheffer, that's why I want to make sure that you can see it, because on the other platforms, so you can move that, but you can see the line there. So you can see how many tracks we have left. You can see what the minimums are. In fact, the minimum's up because someone just submitted, so I'm updating that right now. But yeah, it's always updating. If you want to be next, it would be 15. If you want to be next, it would be 15 currently speaking, just because we have 2 more. But yeah, the same way that you send in credit, whatever, it's all the same, like through the same link. That way we can update it on the board there. But yeah, that's like, you can see how many we have left, and you're like, okay, I'm 4th. So if I want to be 2nd, I need to be past Chance. If I want to be 1st, I have to be past Sebbi. So you can just kind of use the line right there to kind of see where you're at. That's why I updated over the course of live too. Okay, so yeah. That's what. Anyways, back to the track here. Oh, I can get through more of these because I know some people are wanting to go a little bit too. Check the line, Sheffer. Check the line. I on the line. No, you're good. That's why I need you to check the line, because it tells you how many songs we have left, so you can see how many that we have left. And then you can see the list in the order right there. You can see where the minimums are, all this stuff. That's why I want you to, if you haven't already, keep up the line. Unless you have it up or whatever. But yeah, I say how many songs we have left over there. That way you can see. We have 2 songs left. So right now we have Sebbi and Chance. They're the top right there. The rest will be saved unless you want to move forward. There's no pressure to. If you want to go tonight though, you can. But you just have to be past one of those top 2. It's just the same order there. Okay. All right, let's get back into the song here. Yeah, so anyways, sorry DT. That's what I'm listening for. How you do that, I mean, obviously it's a little bit more complex when you don't have as much control over the production or like things you can add to the production, which of course you can to some extent. But that's kind of what I'm listening for. Is I don't want it to get monotonous, because you're so good. You're a great writer. You have a great vocal production, especially as you get a little bit deeper into mixing the song and stuff like that. I don't want people to check out. And so that's what I'm listening for. And what I would be a little bit concerned with is that people hearing that same sound design, because the way that you can kind of think of it is like your vocal is staying in the same octave. Nothing specifically wrong with that. There's a lot of artists that do that, but the production's also staying in the same octave, same dynamic, right? The production's also staying really consistent as well. So either like something needs to shift about the production to make it feel like things have shifted and moved around a little bit, or something needs to change about the vocal. But if both of those stay too consistent, then that's where it starts to feel like things are falling behind and feeling a bit slow.
Foot up off the gasoline.
Great hook.
Thought I found love before, but it didn't work out. Gotta proceed with caution this time around.
Very true. I feel like with this one, specifically, even like doing the first hook, lower octave, and then the higher one. Yeah. So yeah, let me see.
Yeah. I think you're moving too fast for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you can kind of have this, I think you're moving too fast for me. If you have like a little bit lower energy there. So yeah, it's up to you how you do that. And again, you also don't have to. If you if you feel like you can stick to your guns too, like this is not like a hierarchy to the art, right? It's if it feels good to you and it's like making sense to you, run with it and see if people attach to it. I can only give you my kind of subjective view of like, here's what I feel like works psychologically and what feels like it's going to engage the most amount of people, which of course is most people's goal. I got you, Sheffer. I'll double check here in just one moment. I appreciate you. That's probably what I struggle with the most is energy shift. So like you said, hard to do when I just use BeatStars beats. Yep, that is That is the challenge. When we were talking to an artist right before you came in, or a couple songs before you came in, where that is one of the challenges, where most free productions or cheap leases are very repetitive, right? They add in a bass and they loop it over. They add a kick and snare, they loop it over. They add a hi-hat, they loop it over. They loop it for 3 minutes, and then they're like, oh man, this is too consistent. So they take out the hats for the second verse. They take out the hats on the last hook and bring them back in. They take out the 808 for a second right before the hook. But it's all of the same thing over and over and over again, right? Exact same chords, exact same progression. And what happens is what we were talking with the other artists on, is your brain just tunes out. Like, that has nothing to do with like how good you are as an artist, or like how talented you are at writing beats, or I'm sorry, like writing lyrics and your voice and stuff like that. It has all to do with just the psychology behind sound and the physics behind sound, and just the way your brain works, where it tunes out hyper repetition, right? When you start hearing the exact same thing over and over again, your brain just tunes it out and it kind of shuts down. And so if you don't have that variation, or you don't have that dynamic range, it could be really good lyrics. It could be like, you could be crushing it as a vocalist, and it'll still, your brain will just kind of tune out. It'll just slow down a little bit, and you'll lose that attention that we're trying to get from people. So that's why I mentioned stuff like this. It's more selfishly out of like, wanting as many people as possible to experience the song at the highest level possible, less about whether you're good at what you do, if that makes sense. It's more like, if you keep it this way, it will sound good. And I like listening to it the way that I'm listening to it now. But the passive listener and the random person coming across the playlist and the random one on social media, how likely are they to not only finish the song, keep going through it, but also then remember the song? If the brain checks out halfway through because it's heard a lot of repetition, even if they like the song initially, it checks out a little bit, and the brain's not like focused on engaging with the record, it's a 99% chance that they will like what they hear, but won't ever remember it again. And that's where you're going to have that fall off of like people not coming back for streams and wanting to listen to more of your music and stuff like that, because they just won't even remember that they heard that song 3 hours ago, right? So those are the reasons why I'm kind of addressing those things, because you are so good. You have such an awesome, I love your voice. It's unique. I literally I love your voice so much. And anytime that you come in, I know who I'm listening to. That's a superpower. I know I know if you were to literally, if no one put their names in the chat and no one put their names in their email, and I just had a playlist of 20 songs and your voice came in, I would know your voice out of anyone. You have a distinct voice. You're good at what you do. So that's why I'm digging into this a little bit, because I'm like, dude, people deserve to hear it. They deserve to, hear a lot of your songs and your lyrics and your stories and stuff like that, because you're great at building them. I just don't want people to miss out. Respectfully to myself, I feel the way about a lot of my stuff, dude. I mean, dude, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Like, you're amazing at what you do. So how you do that, there's a million different turns you can do, and I appreciate it a lot. I feel like that would be what turns the corner. Yeah, that's the thing. I want you to play with more range in your lead vocal, not just the backgrounds, not just bringing in the high octave of the layer, but your vocal going from the that jump, that energy shift. I want more of that energy shift right there, because that to me just gives me so much more emotion and more feeling. It snaps me out of it a little bit. Like if you were jumping those octaves or switching back and forth a little bit from verse, like low verse, high hook again. Like I just feel like it would wake me up. It would snap me out of the repetition of the song, which again is a good song and good structure and good lyrics. So that's like my challenge to you, because you're good. You know how to write. That's not an issue. It's not an issue, and I don't foresee it ever really being one. That's one of the fewest things that we correct, is a lot of your songwriting ability. You're fantastic. It's really good. So that's why I'm like, when you're dealing with limited productions, we got to find a way to snap people out of their ruts, right? It's a little bit of audience manipulation, if you will. Like, you can either put people to sleep, or you can wake them up and make them engaged with your music. How are you going to do that? How are you going to surprise people a little bit and give them something that snaps them out of the monotony of listening to music passively and stuff like that? Okay, let's get into the middle of the track here, and I'll move on. To me, that's kind of one of the biggest things, and then we'll move on from here.
Places filled with sand, baby. Want you so bad, I won't divert from the plan, baby. Just slow down. Yeah, if it's meant to be, then we can wait and see. Just do it patiently. Yeah. I believe in us, no, I ain't going nowhere. I just need to ease into it, cause I ain't ready today. I think you're moving too too fast for me? Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? No need.
Because man, it's a good melody. Goodness, it's a good melody. Dude, that's gonna be. It is because I'm hearing it on repeat now, right? I'm going back through it a couple times. That melody is gonna be stuck in my head. Dun, 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 baby. Dun, dun, dun. That's so catchy. It's ridiculously catchy. It's annoying how catchy it is. That's one of the. That is your superpower. You're so good at that. You're so good at that. So that's why. That's why I'm like, let's lock that down. Let's figure out what we need to do in order to make that really concise and make that like really polished, because it is such a good melody. And what I would hate to see is people that hear that, love it, and forget about it. That is why most people that's why most music gets lost on people. They hear some things that are pretty cool and they're not memorable. They're cool and they sound good, but they're not memorable. We gotta make stuff that I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to everybody. We gotta make stuff that people remember. Otherwise, they'll never come back for more. They won't remember to follow. It usually takes like 6 or 7 times for people to like come across something for it to actually click for them. So if people are hearing it once and then they don't remember it, that's a big miss, right? And we typically need them to listen many, many different times and come across your stuff many, many different times for it to click, for it to really, really engage. So anyways, let's get into this last part of the song here. But yeah, I think that kind of addresses the whole thing here.
To rush into it, let's just take our time. Gotta build my trust in you before I make you mine. I think you're moving too fast for me. Could you take your foot up off the gasoline? Thought I found love before, but it didn't work out. Yeah. Gotta proceed with caution this time around. When I dream of us together, yeah, I do think it's forever. But take your foot off the pedal. This ain't no race for a medal.
Like even like here, like I mean, I love maybe not here. Take it with a grain of salt, but like even here, like the high register of the vocal, it works really well. Sounds beautiful, like we've already talked about. But even like the low register, to me, I feel like would be more like flirty or whatever it is. Like there's some like there'd be like more energy around it. You know what I mean? Like there'd be a little bit more, I don't know, like finesse behind the way that you're actually building the vocal right there, of having that like. I've seen it done it forever. I said, like you could have a little more attitude, a little more like of a break in the vocal, a little bit lower, instead of having to stick to like clean, perfect melody structure at the top. Obviously, that's up to you and how you want to build out the track. But like I can see sometimes where you could be a little more like. Think like Chance the Rapper-ish, you know, or something where like you can almost like hear the smile in the vocal, you know what I mean? And like you can feel some of the attitude behind it, and it's got a lot of like interesting structure to it and whatever. Like that's kind of what I'm listening for. Is like I want to feel more of that. No, you're good. I want to feel more of that energy and get a little bit more of that attitude and that emotion in it. And I think that will happen more the more you play with your vocal a little bit more. The more that you kind of move it around and you have a little bit more fun with it, because it's really easy, especially when you have started making music pretty well, and you have, right? Like where you're like, I really, really struggled with a lot of stuff. I learned a lot. I improved a lot. And now I'm really trying to like do the thing that I know I've gotten good at really well. I don't know if that's connecting at all, but like I've done this in my own, I've worked with a lot of artists where they've done this too, where it's like, I've really, really struggled. I've learned a lot and I've gotten pretty good at this one thing. So let me like do it really, really well. And that's all I'm going to kind of stay in that little mold right there for a moment. And then it can be really challenging to like break out of that to just the fun attitude and emotion of music. Because you're like, dude, I finally started stacking my vocals really well. I finally got into a place where I'm like, now I understand positioning. Now I understand like, you know, the EQ on my vocal. And I finally got all that down. So now you're telling me like change register and relearn the bottom half over here. And like that can be where it's really challenging. So now that you've gotten really consistent, now you got to like take a breath, take a step back and be like, now I need to get back into just grooving to my own music, right? And like really getting into just the energy and the aesthetic of the music and get to a place where you're enjoying a little bit more of that process of kind of playing with your vocal structure. For sure. I appreciate it. I know this may seem like just another review for me, but I really think this one will be the one that gets me where I need to go. Always grateful. Dude, 100%, man. Yeah, I'm really like those melodies. I really like the pedal tone harmony. I like this production for your voice. I think it's got a really cool edge to it. It's simple and it's vibey and it's groovy. So man, y'all show some love. And dude, with a lot of y'all's music, to be honest, it doesn't never really feel like just another song. Like the way I want to look at and approach every song that comes this way is like, what's its actual potential? Like you never know what content's going to hit. You never know what structure of your production is going to just like connect with people and relate to people. So look at every song as an opportunity for you to connect, an opportunity for you to do something really, really cool. And of course, I absolutely believe that this song structure for you can do something really special. So y'all, please show some love. That's the family. Show some love to DT. We are officially closing up the line, y'all. Last two songs are already up on the board, so we're going to close it up here. Eggman, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that a lot. Please show some love. That is the family. DT is over on the Purple app right now, so show him some love and support. We love and appreciate you so much, man. Anytime we get a chance to hear your voice, it's an honor, an absolute honor. Okay, give me a second now to update the line. Let me get everybody in order here. Give me just one moment. Sheffer, I got you with the 10. Keep in mind, Sheffer, I told you let me get this where it needs to be. If you want to be there, let me move you there. There's Sebby, and then let me see, Philip, I got you. So let me get everything in order. So if I've sent 20 to that, yeah, you're up. I moved you up. But keep in mind, people are moving all the time. That's why I want y'all to have the lineup. You can always see the top. Okay, so Sebby, I got you. And then let me double check really quick for Philip. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. It's always top of the list. Some people skip, some people wait, some people just say like, oh, I'll wait till tomorrow's live and I'll come back in and because again, if I save yours, I'll give you extra credit. So like if I leave you up on the list, I'll always make sure that you have a little bit more the next time that you come in. I'll always make sure that you're taken care of. So if you have to wait, you'll get a little bit of a bonus. Let me see. But yeah, that's why I think I even say that on the thing that the board is modular. It works a little bit kind of like an auction where it's like, if you want to go faster, you can. There's no pressure to. You never have to if you don't want to. But if you want to go faster, some people do. Some people want to go faster, and they have the capacity to. That's up to them. That's up to y'all. I don't really care either way. Those people will send in more to make sure that they go a little bit faster, so they don't have to wait around or have it saved or anything like that. Okay, so Philip, I got you up, and then. I guess I'll wait till next time because I got knocked out. Yeah, I got you, Chance. Yeah, you're on the board no matter what, and you'll get a boost next time as well. Sebby, I got you. Like this is what I was saying. Like keep an eye on the board because it's moving all the time. It's moved about 6 times in the last 45 seconds. All right, let's keep it running. I'm trying to move at a good pace. Last two songs. Let me close the line so no one new is coming in. Keep in mind, if I save you, we got 2 more songs. Last 2 people on the board. Bart, if you thank you for the follow. Last 2 people or the top 2 people on the board will get heard. Everyone else will get saved. If I save your song, if you have to leave, you got to eat, work, sleep, drink, anything like that, you got to leave for any reason, or I get off at the end of the night, I always save your song. I've got your name and your credit on my list. I'll put you in the second list right there. And then as soon as you come back in, just let me know where you are. Let me know where you are, or let me know that you're here. I'll throw you straight back up on the board. Hacksaw was here earlier. He's from 2 lives ago. He came back in, put him on the board. He was first. He was first up on everything. So let me see. Let me get this rolling here. But yeah, you're never going to miss out on your song. You're never going to miss out on your chance to get heard. I'll always make sure that you're ready to go. I'll jump in tomorrow. What time? It'll be afternoon. I'm Central Time. Keep that in mind. I think you said you're in the UK, right? You're in London. I'm Central Time. I'm in Texas. So it's going to be, let's say 2, I think it'll be a little bit earlier than today, like 2 p.m. Central, something like that. Ish. I just got to finish some stuff in the morning. But about 2 p.m. Central, I'll hop on. That should be a bit earlier for you. So that should be a little bit earlier in the afternoon for you. So hopefully. And then again, if you're left up on the board, like Chance and Sheffer, if you're left on the board, I'm going to add 5 to y'all's as well. So you'll get a boost. So hopefully, as soon as you come into the live again tomorrow or whenever you're able to, you'll get a boost on the board. You'll be able to jump up another 5, which is, I try to do that for everybody that I leave up there. It's just, appreciation for being patient as other people come in and skip. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Y'all show some love one more time to DT. We got Sebby in the building, last 2. Of course. I appreciate you a lot. Why did it not close? Hold on. There we go. That was closed. I was like, wait, hold on. Why is it not closing? All right, last 2 songs. We got Sebby in the building. Sebby, hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. One more song after this one, and we're out of here. Lines are officially closed. It'll be Philip closing us out. Unless, and if you're in the chat, you can move, right? If you're already on the line, you can move around the line. I'm just not taking any new people in. All right, we got Sebbi in the building. Sebbi, give me all of the details. I've heard your music obviously before, but give me all of the details, and also let the chat know what you do. I always recommend when people come in, even if I've heard your stuff before, let everybody else know what you do so they can become fans of of what you're doing creatively as well. All right, this is Breath Extension 1 by Sebbi. Let's get into it. It's downloaded. I like the little LFO in the background. Appreciate you.
If I could go back in time, I'd erase the lies, I'd erase you right out of my mind. Don't wanna feel this way, but I know that you'll never change. Baby, look what you've done to me. So addicted to you. Yeah, it's too late to take it back. Baby, how you hurt me like that. Then you turn and walk away. Oh. And as I'm picking up the broken pieces of my heart, I realize, yeah, I can't breathe without you. I can't. There's no sleep without you.
Smooth. Come on.
Don't wanna live without you. I can't. No, I can't be without. I won't.
You produced all this, right?
I can't breathe without you. Yeah, they say what's done is done. But my mind don't work like that, and you already know it. Try to dress the part and push through it, and you're acting like.
What's up, Westfall? Welcome in. Good to see you, brother.
I'm breathless without
Singing engineer. Okay.
and it's too late to take it back.
Do you have the multi-track for all of this?
Be like that, then you turn and walk away. Oh. And as I'm picking up the broken pieces of my heart, I realize I can't breathe without you. I can't. There's no sleep without you.
Do you have access to like the actual, like the producer, the actual production, or is it just like multi-track off BeatStars or something? Let me know.
I can't be without. I won't be without. I can't breathe without you. I can't. There's no sleep without you.
It's clean, man. It's clean.
Don't wanna live without you. I can't.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I can't be without. I won't be without. I can't breathe without you.
This is nice, man. Very smooth. Good vocal layering. Is there more coming back? Okay.
Tell you it's just another Friday night. All you wanna do is fucking fight. Let me tell you, baby, I don't mind. As long as you're here with me, finally I can breathe. And now your phone is ringing, it's your side bitch. Just let them know tonight that you're my bitch. Just let it off to the side and let me climb inside. Gonna make you feel real nice, and we'll just breathe together. Baby, don't think too much, just a little touch. I know that you've been stressed, so baby, get undressed.
Great
and
voice,
come
man.
up in this bed with me, and we'll just breathe together. Oh, you're almost there, a feeling oh so rare. I know your body well, no way that this is fair. Just come and take your time with me.
Chill. Super chill. I like it. I like it a lot, man. Y'all show some love. Show some love, dude. I like it a lot. Sebbi, this is amazing. That's Breath That is Breath by Sebbi right here in the building. Let's run it from the top. Let's go straight from the bottom of it, and we'll run through it. Talk about a couple little things. One thing I would recommend, dude, I love the extension. I love like an extended cut here. You are most likely already thinking this. I would release two. I would do a radio edit, like a playlist edit. You know what I mean? And get one that cuts right at what, 2:45, 3 minutes or whatever, that we have one concise production, and then release an extended version where you get this extra cut in the end with some extra stuff, just because one is going to be a lot more viable for playlists. It's going to be more likely to get plays. It's going to be more likely to get retention and replay value. So keep that in mind. Just when you're like releasing some of these two, that would probably recommend having one that's not 4.5 minutes. That way you can at least shoot both, and you'll see one that clicks for different reasons. But yeah, both of these sound awesome. I love the transition. I love the movement right there. I was like, wait, hold on, we're going somewhere. I actually saw there was like a minute left, and I was like, hold on, we going somewhere else, or is this a long tail to the file? But y'all, show some love to Sebbi. Let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top. It's a great track. It's a great track. Great track. Great track. Let's run it. I love that there's like a little like LFO in the. I love that little movement right there. That little flutter right there is really, really nice. Of course, it's the synth stuff that I really appreciate, but I like a lot of the sound design in here. Great layering.
If I could go back in time, I'd erase the lies, I'd erase you right.
Great layers. I mean, beautiful harmonies. It's an ear candy, man. It's nice. I like it.
I don't want to feel this way, but I know that you'll never change. Baby, look what you've done to me. So addicted to you. It's too late to take it back.
Okay, so one of the things that this is why I was asking about the production. Of course, as I say all the time, this is stylistic, so feel free to ignore what I say. It's not necessary. It's just something that I'm hearing that I think of the production would just make it have like a little bit more life. One of the things that I'm hearing is, I mean, I really like that it's a crunchy, beefy kick. It's a big kind of clap snare. Like it has all this like, it's like early 2000s, crunchy R&B vibe that I really like. Or even like some of like the earlier Chris Brown stuff, right? Like it has this big like, early 2010s vibe as well. I love that crunch. I love that saturation. And then the hi-hat is kind of ultra consistent. So what it sounds like to me is like the velocity automation is very, very consistent. It's at like 100 points every single time. It's like, it's very, very consistent all the way through. I would love to hear a little bit of variation between every other hat, with the lower one being the 2 and 4, like a little, even like a little bit of swing there could be nice. Because again, there's so much energy and crunch underneath it. That bass is really nice. You get a nice little resonance on the bass. That bow, I love it. Like there's so much about the sound design I really like. But then the hi-hat to me it feels, very digital, very forward, and very strict in the way that it's there. It's like it's just all perfectly quantized, perfect velocity all the way through. I would love just like a little bit of movement there. Just one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower, one a little bit higher, one a little bit lower, to give you that like feel and that movement that feels a little bit more like natural, especially with like your vocal and the way the rest of the production sounds. It's a small detail. Again, feel free to like ignore that. It's not like necessary to this being a good song. It's just like a small detail that I think would just make the drums feel less sterile, like less strict and less rigid.
Baby, how you hurt me like that? Then you turn and walk away. Oh. And as I'm picking up the broken pieces of my heart, I realize
It's a cool production though.
I can't breathe without you. I can't. There's no sleep.
I'm gonna back it up a little bit.
And as I'm picking up the broken pieces.
Okay, really quick. This is again. Feel free to ignore me, because I know you're late in this process, and I don't want to like throw wrenches in your system when you're about to master it. Okay, so keep that in mind too when I talk about some of these things. It could just be ideas that you can take into another record. It doesn't have to be something you hone in on right now. I know how it is, and I am hyper aware that I can be really annoying with this stuff. And you're like, dude, I'm like, the song's done. Just see if there's any polish we need to move on. I'm like, hey, why don't you change the whole thing? I don't want to do that. But one of the things that I think would be a really easy adjustment for you if you felt like it was necessary is what I don't get a lot of in the song until maybe a little bit later on, where you pull the beat and come back in with something else, is dynamic range. So if I hear like as soon as everything comes in here, here's your verse. Still in your verse. Here's your hook. It's all up here, vocal range wise. It's all drums, low respace, like all of these like main elements of the production are kind of always in there with a little break in the hats every once in a while, but it's a lot of very consistent dynamic range. But I want that hook to be a powerhouse hook, and it has the ability to be. I want that hook to feel really engaging and really powerful. The way that I feel like is probably the easiest for you to do that is to pull some energy before that. Like before you get into the first hook, or maybe even the second hook, you can figure it out. Before you go into that first hook, maybe on the pre-chorus right there, bring it back down to just like synths and pad with your vocal, and then add in the drums again, obviously in the hook. Like there's some moments in there where I'm like, I kind of wish that we reduced some dynamic so that the dynamic felt even more powerful whenever we go to that first hook. It's very much like straight through, like your vocal range and the power of the track and the buildup of the production is very consistent from verse straight into the pre, straight into the hook. They all pretty much sound the same and are largely the same progression, same sounds and same progression, slightly different variation of vocal. I think if we can pull some of that energy, you'll feel like it'll come in really tight. I kind of felt like the respace coming in strong there, but maybe not so much. Let me back it up a little bit. So it does come in strong, but I'm kind of almost wondering if that's the. It does come in strong. So you're correct in that, but I kind of am curious on my end if that's the opposite of what should happen. Like I'm almost or let me flip it. I'm going to be confusing here. Add the respace, but take out the drums, right? Like C sharp minor, right? So like I'm almost curious if you do that break. I'm so addicted to you, and then you go straight into the hook. Like it comes into the pre-chorus, so I do get what you say. It kind of stays there a while, and so I don't mind the respace. I think it's maybe the percussion. The percussion might be the pain point. Let's see. I like it. I do like it. Listen for the drums. Now there's a nice little melody over the top right there, but I think the biggest thing that's making it really, really consistent is that the respace is there, yes, but it's also mainly that the drums are just so consistent. The verse is happening with the exact same drum loop, then the pre-chorus starts with the exact same drum loop, and then the chorus starts with the exact same drum loop. So that's like very, very consistent right there until you pull it away later. So for me, as an idea, try it out. Go into the pre-chorus and just mute the drums. And if we were like producing this out a little bit, what I think probably would work really well right here is for you to actually let me do this. I'm going to switch the sound right here. I'm going to pull up the MS-20 rolling bass because it's very similar to what you're doing here. Let me see where it's at. And I want to kind of want to show something because let's see. Boom. That's the piano still. Let's go here. Okay, so kind of what I'm imagining, Chase, thank you for the follow, appreciate it, is we come here, right? Everything's built up.
Oh, you hurt me like that, then you turn and walk away. Oh. And as I'm picking up the I'd erase you right out of my
I want to hear your melody here. All of this is great.
You'll never change, baby, look what you've done to me. So addicted to you. It's too late to take it back.
Okay, so addicted to you, don't let to take it back. So what I'm kind of imagining is I'm gonna lower this. I'm gonna lower this here. Ain't anything. That may be why I saw for the production being so in front of. It makes sense. Just keep in mind, and you're not wrong necessarily in that, but just keep in mind that the vast majority of people will hear it digitally first. If 99% are going to hear it digitally first, and that will determine whether or not they want to go to a live show, right? So that's what I'm trying to keep in mind. Is most people first experience is going to be this version, and that will make them want to go or not. And if it feels too lax or too monotonous dynamically, and again, I love what I'm hearing. Your voice is it's killer too. It's absolutely killer. But if dynamically speaking is too consistent, if the dynamics are too consistent, they might not have some intuition that your shows will be that exciting and dynamic as well. So here's kind of what I imagine. Take it with a grain of salt. We have this low rolling bass. Low rolling bass. It's the Korg MS-20 here. As if I'll ever do. But it's all stuff to keep in mind. It's all stuff to keep in mind. It's like whether or not there's a live show for people to go to. Do they wish there was? I mean, that might be. I'm just thinking about that now, kind of for the first time. But like, that's probably a good test. That's probably a good test for most artists. You're like, hey, I don't know if I'll ever do a live show ever. I don't know if I'll ever tour. I don't know if I'll ever do any of these things. But would people even want me to? Would people even want to scream these lyrics in a crowd or care enough about the song to want to do that? It's a decent test. I'm not saying this to fix for everything, but like that's a decent test to be like, dude, will people even care about the song enough to like want to see me sing it and want to engage with it? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Like, the stuff like that. Okay, so here's what I imagine. When you go into the you just go down to like, just filter go only vocal, take out all of the drums and filter everything down. Put it underwater so it's your vocal, bright and powerful with stacks, filtered production underneath, no drums, and then beat hits hard for the hook, and the hook sounds crazy. Hook sounds crazy because you've transitioned so much of a change in energy going into it. Okay, I'm gonna back it up, and then I'll pause it and I'll play kind of what we're talking about. So here's verse, right? I love this, dude. It sounds so good. Woo! But I know that you'll never change. Baby, look what you've done to me. So addicted to you. Da 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 da. So addicted to. And you start to maybe build up a little bit here, but everything goes underwater for a second, right? You build up all this energy so your vocal goes high, the stacks are prominent, your high mix voice is powerful, the production, oh, come on, TikTok, I gotta do my puzzles. Hold on. Gotta do my puzzles. There we go. Beautiful. All right, and then, vocal goes up, whole production goes underwater. And it's all dropped down. So like the respace stays there. That rolling pad and your respace and all of your synths stay there, but the dynamic kind of goes doosh, right? You know what I mean? Like the vocal goes up, production goes down, everything actually filters out. And then when your hook hits, it's like, it's beefy. You know what I mean? Like, because we've like restrained for a second, when that hook actually hits and your vocal does what your vocal does, it will feel so much more climactic. Like it'll feel so much more energetic. Because once you hit this, let's bring it back. This is all here. Drums out, pads in. Build up here, still filtered out, build up. Open up the cutoff, open it up. And then here, boom. Break right there. Can't breathe without, boom. You know, it's like I feel it. You don't have to do this. Feel free to ignore. I feel it. Like that's what my brain, and I feel like it's usually right. It's right a lot. That's what my brain wants to hear. It wants to hear that change, that exchange of energy. It's getting me hyped, man. It's like I want to hear that and feel that exchange of energy of like you've brought me down a little bit. Like you're kind of pulling me along for the journey. You know what I mean? Like you told me to sit down for a second here. We're gonna bring it in close. You're gonna say what you need to say, and then we're all gonna go crazy on this hook right here. Then you have your breakdown later. Then you come back with like the halftime party next door trap beat. Like you can, to me, it's way more exciting to listen to, and it already sounds great. It already sounds awesome. But to me, It's like way more exciting. So bring your pre-hooks down, filter down, vocal up, take out the drums, smash the hook. Just absolutely obliterate it. Dude, I think you'll be, I have to go back and do that. Feel free. If you do, I do think, subjectively, in my opinion, I do think that it will make it better, more dynamic, more exciting to listen to and keep people's engagement a little bit more. And if you don't, it will still sound good. But I think if you do, I think it'll sound awesome. Okay, let's get into the second section here because everything else is great. I'm not worried about the mix. The mix is really good, honestly, and you can polish it from there and master it. Get a little more glue to some of these elements. I'm not worried about the mix, so I'm not going to touch that too much. Let's get into this B section. For me, it's just like, how do we make this as exciting of a song for people as possible so that they do want the live show? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get it. I love this. I love this breakdown here. Beautiful. It's a solid song. Solid song, man. Bring it back in samples of your vocal. Come on.
Tell you it's just another Friday night. All you wanna do is fucking
Beautiful.
fight. Let me tell you, baby, I don't mind. As long as you're here with me.
Beautiful.
Finally, I can breathe. And now your phone is ringing.
Heavy.
It's your side,
808 slides are beautiful.
just
Beautiful.
Let 'em know tonight that you're my bitch. Just let it off to the
Really like the really like the 808s here.
and let me climb inside. Gonna make you feel real nice. And we'll just breathe together. Baby, don't think too much.
Come on.
Just a little touch. I know that you've been stressed. So baby, get undressed and climb up in this bed with me. And we'll just breathe together. Oh, you're almost there.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm feeling oh so well. I know
There's more variation in the hats here too. Like we were talking about the hats in the A section of the song. There's a lot more variation in the setup right here. So I'm not worried about that. The rest of this sounds great, man.
you well. No way that this is fair. Just come and take your time with me.
Great ad-libs leading to the outro, great fade out. Like, yeah, there's 95% of this that I absolutely think is fantastic. It's really well done. Y'all, please show some love to Sebbi. Sebbi, feel free to hop around the platforms and let people know where you are and who you are and where they can find you. Please show some love to Sebbi Music Official. They're over on YouTube right now, man. Love and appreciate what you do so much, man. You're talented. You're a good writer, good structure, great layering, amazing voice. The production supports it, honestly. Like, the production really does leave space for that to happen while still feeling really energetic. To me, it's a structural thing to make sure the dynamics feel as vibrant and alive as possible so nothing gets monotonous, right? Like, even really great quality things can become monotonous if it's too much of the same thing over the long term. So that's the only thing I'm really listening for in this. I'm not worried about the mix and master. It's going to be in a great space, especially after this already sounds really good. Y'all, please show some love. Right there, y'all. Sebastian Crawford on all plats. Show him some love and support, man. Always an honor to hear what you're working on, man. Thank you so much for sending that in. One more time, make sure y'all follow and support the family. Let's close it out here. We've got Philip in the building. Philip Dietrich, hop in the chat. Hop in the chat. I'm gonna get this downloaded right now. Dark Becomes the Light. We got some fresh music from Shakamon. I'm so excited. I love listening to Philip's music. Let me see. Let me get it downloaded real quick. Philip, let me know if you're in the chat. I just want to make sure that you're here. Recorded live in the studio. Is this released yet, or is this unreleased? TTF, welcome in. I appreciate you tapping into the stream. Welcome in. I hope y'all are doing amazing. Make sure y'all are following. We'll be live again tomorrow. Line is closed right now, as you can see right here in the middle of the screen. Line is closed, but we will be live again tomorrow afternoon around 2 p.m. Central-ish. 2 p.m. Central-ish. So please make sure that y'all are following, either on, subscribed on YouTube, following, or subscribed on Twitch. Of course, following here on TikTok as well. Third-party montage. There's a nice, yeah, I love these headphones, man. The Focal Clear MGs, they're fabulous. Fabulous. If you ever have a chance to check them out, they are absolutely phenomenal. All right, we got Philip in the building. This is all, keep in mind what y'all are about to hear. I think Philip is a drummer. What you're about to hear is all recorded live in studio. They're awesome. They're awesome at what they do. It's so fun to hear, like, phenomenal musicians doing what they do. This is fun stuff. So if you haven't heard them before, you're in for a treat. This is called Dark Becomes the Light by Shakamon. I love this already. Sorry, I'm going to start it over. I'm not going to stop it on the first play as usual. I already love this like kind of like, and I mean this in a great way, but this like classic like 90s and sonic or like Triton LE, like Korg Triton LE string. I love it. I just sold my Triton. I had a Triton LE. I sold it to get my DX7, but I love that style, and I just kind of replaced it with some other stuff in here. But I love that kind of like cheap sampled like rompler string for stuff like this. So good. It's so good. It's a bad string sound in the perfect context. I love it. Anyways, I got to shut up and listen to the song now, so I'm sorry for stopping it. I just want to say I love that. Okay, Ghost Notes. Okay, Ghost Notes.
I feel the pain and sorrow in everyday life. Wake up like there's no tomorrow. Jah Rastafari, yeah. Though they know not what they do, still look up to Jah. Now
I love that y'all do this all live.
in the sunshine, the light outweighs the dark. Now zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down, zoom ba-da.
Beautiful. Comped harmonies, right? Re-recorded harmonies.
Oh yeah, zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down, zoom ba-da. Are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell them, are you ready? I don't think they're ready. Are you ready now? Now is the time of a revolution. Free up your mind, find a solution.
That like piccolo snare, it's like cranked. That's tight. Is that a piccolo snare? Like a 2.5?
There's been so much trouble
2.5, 3.5
something?
something?
Too many lives lost now, what a shame. No justice,
Or is it
no
just
peace,
cranked?
there is nothing to gain. We got to heal the
Or
world
both.
from pain. When the dark becomes the light. When the dark becomes the light. When the dark becomes the light. See when the dark, yeah. Everything gonna be alright.
Steel snare, rim, and hitter. Rim and hitter at the same time. How thick is the snare? Is it like a standard 4.5? Crisp. It's crisp. Dang. Tuning's great. I mean, it's snappy. It's snappy.
Yeah, man. Zoom down, zoom ba-da, zoom down,
I love this, man.
zoom down, zoom ba-da.
I also feel like this could be like an 80s movie or something. It's so cool. I love the feel.
Alright. When the dark becomes the light, I pray thee, I pray thee. When the dark becomes the light, life gets tough, it gets a little bit crazy. Everything will be alright, and everything is gonna be alright. When the dark becomes the light, when the dark becomes the light, yeah. I pray thee, I pray thee.
So fun.
Life gets tough, it gets a little bit crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool feel. Still totally has your identity. Totally has your identity.
Dark becomes the light.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Love those delays. Come on, come on. Let's go. I love the physical manipulation that's happening in that. Like, I don't know if it's like the guitarist on the pedal, right? Cranking the feedback and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of like physical manipulation of between the drums and the guitar and stuff like that. A lot of physical manipulation of the signals and stuff. I love that just intricacy with the production. I think it's really, really fun to hear. Y'all show some love to Philip Dittrich right here in the chat. That is Dark Becomes the Light by Shakamon. I've really fallen in love with y'all's music. I think y'all are amazing. Y'all are so talented across the board, man. So talented. So let's talk about this record really quick. There's like two things. There's two quick little details that I want to address. But honestly, I love this different feel for y'all. Still has your identity. Still has all of the soul that you have in all of your other records, while offering a slightly different shift in energy than some of those other records, which is fun. I mean, I think that's what's so cool about branching out as a production team and as a band and stuff like that, is if you can maintain your like fingerprint and your like core identity as a band and still try things and be creative and try to be different and kind of mix it up a little bit, I think you've really found a sound that works well for you. So I think that's amazing. Aiton, so good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing amazing. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's dive in. We're going to address these. What's up, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well today. These strings are something I want to address a little bit later on. I mean, I already said I love them. So I love what they're doing, but there's a couple things that we'll want to listen for later on once vocals come in. There's really just two things I'm hearing in this production. I love like so much about the rest of what's going on here. The thing I'm listening for here that will carry into what we talk about in a little bit is where those strings are positioned. Strings operate, especially like this, they're operating in a very similar space to the vocals, right? So just as far as like mid frequencies and higher frequencies, they're sitting in a very similar pocket. These particular strings are close. I think there's some stereo information, maybe. There's like a little piano layered with it, maybe. So there's some stereo information, but largely in mono. So they're largely coming through right down the middle, exactly where the lead vocal is. What's up, King? Welcome in. Exactly where the lead vocal sits. So because they operated in that space, when those strings are playing at the same time as the vocal, they compete for space and they compete for clarity in the middle of the mix. They start to step on each other's toes a little bit because they're both filling out a similar frequency profile and both sitting in the middle of the mix. I would love to get those strings kind of out of the way of the vocal a little bit there. How you do that can be strategic and it can be, nuanced and can kind of be interesting, but it could be as simple as maybe even just like adding a chorus to those strings. Like a Roland Studio D chorus can kind of split that signal and open it up in stereo a little bit more. I love this. I love the Studio D chorus for stuff like that. That it really, really opens up a signal. Like I want to see. I don't have anything on here really quick. I'll just take this off right now. I'll go back to my piano. Hold on for a second. But the Studio D chorus can really, really open it up. So something, again, that like takes the signal in mono and kind of boosts it to the outside a little bit, gives it some color and some texture while still maintaining most of its original profile, I think would be really helpful here. Just so it doesn't operate in the space. Once you do that, or however you do that, you can also then, again, this is more technical on the mixing side, but you could then get into some mid-side processing of those strings or maybe some of the instrument bus to carve some space where that vocal lies, just because right now there's several elements competing in this space. Obviously, largely being the strings and the... There's one other element in there too, but the strings and the vocal kind of sitting in that same space. But let's go a little bit further so we can kind of hear it when it happens. That's one thing I want to kind of keep my eyes and ears on. I say it every time. I love that this is all live. That delay and those little ghost notes right there, beautiful.
And sorrow in everyday life. Wake up like there's no tomorrow.
So here, the high octave. So it starts here and it's like fine. It's when this high octave comes back in. Right up there. That little movement at the very top right there, that's where it starts to step on the toes. The low octave is like fine. It kind of sits in its space, and I feel like it's okay. Once you move into the high over the F sharp minor, once that high octave comes in, that's where it starts to step a little bit on the toes of that lead vocal. That's where I would have a split into stereo, like a chorus or something, or double track it, go back like you do with the vocals and overdub, shoot one of those strings to the left, shoot one to the right, offset them a little bit and give it a little bit more of a pop right there. Something to get them out of the way. That way they're not stepping on the vocal there. Hey, Pac, welcome in.
Though they know not what they do, still look up to Jah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
In the sunshine, the light outweighs the dark.
And then I'm going to keep it playing here in a little bit. One of the only other things that I would address would just be like low end balance on the vocal right there. So again, one of the things I'm looking for is like better clarity for the vocal. So it does shine a little bit more in there. Beautiful recording process. The musicianship is out of this world. It's amazing. All of this is for y'all that don't know, who are just coming in. This is all tracked live in studio together. It's amazing. It's not easy to do at all. I just want a little bit better clarity and separation for the vocal. So one being what operates that space in the middle of the mix, and then the other would be just low end of the vocal. It's a little boomy, a little bit muddy, especially between 100 and 300, 100 and 400 hertz. That little pocket of the vocal right there, it's a little woofy. It's a little muddy, a little bit boomy right there. I would love to just take a very light bell curve between 100 and 300 hertz and just suppress that lightly. And then maybe even in tandem to that, open up like 8 or 9K on the vocal, give it a little bit more shine at the top. Because I'm assuming based on the way y'all are recording that this is recorded with like a live vocal mic, like a dynamic microphone, like a SM58 or something like that, or maybe even a 7B. But I'm assuming it's just like an SM58 or something like that in studio, not a dynamic or not a condenser mic, just because that would pick up everything that's going on. But correct me if that's not wrong or if that's not correct. But I'm assuming it's a dynamic mic because y'all are all recording in the same environment, same room. Boom, 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 boom. Felix, a couple of people. Felix, Francesco, King. We are closed for today. We're right there. We're closed for today. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, maybe around 2 p.m. Central-ish, something like that. But regardless, because if that is the case, and it is a microphone like that, we just need to open up the top a little bit. It's got great automation, great effects and stuff like that, but it's a little boomy and a little bit dark and filtered. So if we can suppress some of that low end and low mid, and open up the top around 9K, maybe even as high as 10K, just a couple dB, it'll open up that vocal mix like crazy. It'll really start to pop in the mix and pull away some energy from where those strings are operating. Okay, let's go a little deeper. Recorded live with live vocals, then vocals re-recorded on a better mic. Okay. So if it is still then like a condenser mic, and that's just how dark it is in the early mix, like this mic is super dark. If I bypass I have a couple EQs, but like if I bypass my EQs, this mic gets super dark and super warm, which is one of the reasons why I like it, but it does need to get a little bit of help to allow it to then pop. It records beautifully, but it needs some help to kind of bloom and open up a little bit more. So I would just do a little bit of that on this. 100 to 300 hertz control, 9,000 to 10,000, 2 or 3 dB at the top, and just shift the energy to pulling away the low mud, introducing a little bit of space at the top of the mix. Just that alone will open it up quite a bit.
Are you ready now?
Neon, welcome in.
Tell them, are you ready?
There's a nice little sequence of synths in the background, and they're there's a nice little textural, little buzzy synth in the back. Hear it on the right side there. A little bit of a background right there. It sounds beautiful. I like that. Very subtle.
I don't think they're ready. Are you ready now?
Nice little bend. There's a lot of little ear candy, and little delays on the snare, little ear candy, like portamento bends in the synth on the right side there. There's a lot of little fun little automations in here that are great.
Now is the time of a revolution. Free up your mind, find a solution. Chemical warfare, every evolution. Mass corruption of the Constitution. There's been so much trouble in the world today.
As always, musicianship, top shelf, great lyric structure. Like that's one of the things I really like about the style and the way that y'all present this style. It feels very raw and it is obviously, but very like real. Like the way you present these lyrics, the way that this is played out in the musicianship, it feels very real and very raw. I enjoy it a lot. It'd be so fun to see y'all live.
The lives lost now, what a shame. No justice, no peace, there is nothing to gain. We got to heal the world from pain. When the dark becomes the light. When the dark becomes the light. When the dark becomes the light.
Great melody.
See when the dark, yeah. Everything gon' be alright. Everything will be alright. When the dark becomes the light. No.
Great little slap echo there.
Led by the King of Kings.
This weekend in Long Beach, California. I know. I wish if you ever happen to find your way to Texas, if you ever happen to find like at least we're in San Antonio, but if you ever happen to find yourself in like Austin or something, let me know. Let me know if it ever works out that way. Let me know. It'd be so fun to see y'all live.
Lord of Lords, Jah Rastafari. Yeah, man. Soon
Pocket's great, man.
Soon up, soon down, soon up, soon down.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Soon down.
We have some friends and family in Austin, so we can always stay up there for the night and go see a show or something. It'd be fun, man. It'd be fun. I mean, we don't have too many opportunities to get out. My wife and I, we just work so much when we're here working on this stuff. So, but if we have an opportunity to get away every once in a while, we try to. It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Especially people, that come through the live, that have become a part of this community and stuff that we've learned a little bit more about. It'd be so fun to engage a bit more.
When the dark becomes the light, I pray thee, I pray thee. When the dark becomes the light, life gets tough, it gets a little bit
So good.
crazy. Everything won't be alright.
Love the wall.
And everything is gonna be alright. When the dark becomes the light. When the dark becomes the light. Yeah. I pray thee, I
That
pray
lick is so
thee.
good, just consistent.
Life
You have, like we talk about the dark comes the light. That little, vocal hook is so prominent, so clean, so well structured, in tandem to having, this, really distinct, really crystal clear instrumental hook as well. You'll do a great job of that. Like the song is as catchy as the vocal, the production is as catchy as the vocal structure is, which is awesome. Talk about that all the time. I love that synth. I love the little background stuff right there. It's so fun. Filter sweeps and stuff like that. Beautifully done. Y'all, please show some love to Philip Dittrich. That is the drummer that you just heard there with the impeccable pocket. The impeccable pocket. It's so good, man. It's so well performed. I really, really enjoy what y'all do. Genuinely, really, really enjoy the music that y'all make. It's so real. It's so raw. Here, as a musician, hearing the musicianship is always very inspiring to me, to just be able to kind of get into that world for a moment and really hear what y'all are doing live. It's so much fun to listen to. So thank you for sending that in, man. Y'all, please show some love to Philip Dittrich. That is going to close us out for tonight. Dude, of course, anytime. It's an absolute honor. We're going to close it out, y'all. I'm going to get out of here, but for those of you who don't know, really quickly, I'm gonna get my spiel so I can get out of here. But for those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I do that. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm a classically trained pianist. That's a lot of the structure of the live stream. It's also what I do for a job. So if you're ever interested in those services, you need, hardware and analog synths. We've got a ton of them in here and counting and more. Electric, acoustic, bass guitars, live drums, vocals, stuff like that. Shoot me a message or reach out through TikTok, Instagram, through our website, whatever it may be. Would love to get in touch with you and see if there's any projects that we can work on. If I can bring some of your ideas to life, I would absolutely love to. One of my favorite things is synth keys, stuff like that. That's one of my favorite things in the world. So if y'all ever need that, let me know. Shoot me a message. I would absolutely love to work with y'all. And hopefully we'll see y'all very soon. We'll be live again tomorrow. So make sure you're following on all the different platforms and we'll tap in with y'all very, very soon. Y'all have a good one. Peace.